right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sergeant John Fott Field for the final semifinal matchup of the year in Sault Ste. Marie High School football, the senior St. Mary's Knights and the senior Superior Heights Steelhawks. I'm Donnie Matthews, joined here tonight by Jonathan Bould, and we've got a good game ahead of us. Before we get started, we would just like to thank all of the graduating seniors from both teams. John's going to start off with St. Mary's.
Yeah, a little bit of a younger team here tonight for the St. Mary's crew, but still a lot of vets who've been a part of the championship culture here at St. Mary's graduating tonight. Liam Moulette, Cole Rivet, Wagash Shawana, Alex Hayes, Diego Garcia, AJ Romano, Lucas Spin, Cam Kutalainen, Micah Cuglietta, Hunter Jackson, William Ladentz, Mateo Palumbo, Marcus Spadafora, Darren Tricarton, Tyler Cady, Blaine Busno, Kent LeBlanc, Liam Dubois, Noah Lalonde, Caden Tugas, and Josh LaPera.
All right. And for the Superior Heights Steelhawks, a lengthy list to call it anything. Daxton Billingsley, Drayden Brock, Jaden Caldwell, Chase Sarasolo, Max Clement, Harper Coulter, Lucas Cruikshank, Cruz Diaz, Ethan Fisher in his fifth year, Kai Foster, Carter Girardi, and Kevin Jones, also in their fifth years. Braden McLeod, Grayson Minero in his fifth year. Jacob Matthew Perks, Cooper McCauley, and Will Madaha in their fifth year. Pearson Calamiris, Lachlan Pinnell Berry, Max Schillingford, and Keegan Staniforth in their fifth year. Jackson Tarazinski, Matthew Tremblay, Ben Trevizanou, Kenyon Williamson, Dylan Wooten in his fifth year, and Tabor Young. Yeah, nice squad there for the Steelhawks of graduating players, and what I believe they have this year is a 4-2 record. Yep. They 4-2. Yeah, the 4-2 record that the Steelhawks bring to the table this year, their best record in a few years now. That group has certainly led them here, and it looks like the St. Mary's Knights are set to receive, sending Marcus Spadafora back there, as well as Brevet walking back that way, and it looks like Cuglietta as well. We'll see what they're able to do tonight. Tyler Cady and Mateo Palumbo back in the lineup for them. It's going to be an interesting game, and if you were present for their game earlier this evening, the Junior Corps Colts took on the Junior Steelhawks, and it was an absolute heater. Unfortunately, Superior trailing behind a little bit, unable to punch it in the red zone, but let's see if the seniors can so to say, avenge them. Overload to the top of the screen. Trevizanou to kick off, it's going to be Wooten. It's fielded by Spadafora, who runs up the middle, follows his blockers, eventually gets wrapped up by a couple of Steelhawks, and we're underway.
I'm excited to see the St. Mary's team this week. After a couple of weeks, I've seen some real development out of their offense, just trying to figure some stuff out. Their O-line started to click. Their run game led predominantly by Hunter Jackson and Jaheim Perot-Didier have really figured some stuff out. They had some great drives against Cora 2 weeks ago. Last week, put on a real revenge game performance against White Pines after their loss to them earlier in the year. Very young squad. Even the names that we listed here today are predominantly grade 12 from the graduating list. So we will see how they continue to develop into this week.
Yeah, absolutely, and looks like they're going with a two-back set. Juma under center, takes the snap, hands it off. Ren Levesque wrapped up by the Steelhawks. Looks like it's actually going to be a loss of a yard for SMC.
Ren Levesque, probably the most experienced out of the running backs in this group, has had a lot of play in the SaberCat system over the years. It's kind of overshadowed over the last few years by guys like Nathan Gazzetti and Peyton Melchiori, but has certainly put in a lot of reps and some really good training camps and practices with the SaberCats, and now one of the key veteran leaders on the St. Mary's team as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Just an athlete who kind of shot out of nowhere for a lot of people in the last couple of years, has certainly stepped up and helped contribute a lot to bringing this offense back to life for the Knights. Juma in the gun, takes the snap, fakes the handoff. It's a screen pass, 17 for the Knights. That's Grayson Giordano on the reception. Gets close to first down yardage. It's going to be third and short.
St. Mary's got off to a slow start this year after 3 years of slugging it out with Cora at the top of this league. A really big exodus of graduating players the last 2 years, a lot of experience leaving with them, and left a lot of voids for young players to come in and try and figure out their roles. And I like to see Aaron Juma in the last couple of weeks, especially against that Cora team 2 weeks ago, really starting to air it out a bit and trying to figure out how to be a more balanced quarterback, traditionally a run-first quarterback.
Giordano now out there to punt it away for the for the Knights. Takes the snap, punts it away. Good punt. Falls a little short. Wisely fielding it. I believe that's Sarah Solo. It's going to be first down for the Steelhawks.
Yeah, it looks like a no yards penalty. We'll tack on a little bit of extra for Spear Heights there. Spear Heights, interesting team coming into this year. 4-2 record, as you mentioned. Their best season so far since 2019 when they lost to Cora in the city championship under Coach Paulo Rossetti. But this is definitely a team with a lot of experience, arguably the most experienced team in the high school loop this year, so it makes sense that they would have found their stride. And we will see if they can keep the good times rolling into the championship week next week.
Absolutely, and they haven't been in a city final since 2021 when Gabe Barkley led the squad there, and they're certainly fighting to get back. Dylan Wooten at the helm for them. In the gun, takes the snap, drops back, airs it out over the middle, and it's off the fingertips of Will Meta. Incomplete. And they're taking a big shot at St. Mary's to open the drive.
Yeah, we got an old lineman down here for Superior Heights.
Oh, no. And I believe that's Grayson Monero, one of the standout linemen for the Steelhawks, who, of course, plays both ways. Big contributor. He's been battling injuries all season. A little upsetting to see him down here, but we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. All right, and Monero headed over towards the sideline, able to walk off under his own power. Always a good sign from one of your veteran players, especially not even 2 minutes into the game. But after that incompletion, it's going to set up a 2nd and 10 for the Steelhawks. John, what kind of play do you think we're going to see here?
Well, I really want to see in high school at this level of the season, or this point in the season, starting to get that intermediate work going. Those 7 to 10 yard passes become critical if you want to move your offense consistently. We'll see if they can start to tap into that stuff over the middle. We have a low hold by the defense here, so that 7 to 10 yard range should be there.
Wooten trying to command his offense a little bit here after the substitution. Takes the handoff. Is Trevis Anu powering forward for just a short gain. They're calling it a gain of 2, and out comes the punt team. 2 3-and-outs for both teams here. And let's see what this punt return team from St. Mary's can do.
Well, I like that Spirit Heights took that shot on first down, though. I mean, you could say that was conservative play call there, and they're trying to feel out the St. Mary's defensive line with that run play. But going for one of your vets, Will Meta, down the sideline for that opening offensive series, we'll see if Spirit Heights continues to be that aggressive on first down.
Yeah, absolutely. And Wooten here to punt it away. Takes the snap. And this one's going to hover in the air for a while. It's going to be a bit short. And it'll go out of bounds after about, we'll call it 20 yards. And it's going to be first down for the Knights. They're calling it right on the 42-yard line. No, 41-yard line. 1st and 10. And we'll see what kind of set they come out in here.
St. Mary's done a really good job running the ball the last couple of weeks. Specifically, like we mentioned, Jahim Pro Didier and Hunter Jackson. They started off with Ren Levesque to start the first series. We'll see if they change it up here. You do have Hunter Jackson there in the backfield.
Jackson and Levesque, the backs. Juma going to go under center with the tight end to his left. Juma takes the snap. They hand it off. It's Jackson, and oh my goodness, Jackson with great speed up the sideline. He's tripped up, I believe, by Wooten, but not after he barrels forward for a gain of almost 20 yards.
Well, this league's going to have an issue for the next couple of years with these couple of young running backs because both of these guys have great speed. They can break away for a long hit, but they're also powerful backs that run with a lot of downhill strength. Hunter Jackson, a big kid for a running back. Jahim Pro Didier, no slouch himself. So this is just the beginning of this running game. Next year we're going to see this team develop even more, and those two guys are going to be a real load to take down.
Absolutely. Same two backs. Juma under center. takes the snap, hands it off. It's Levesque, and Levesque finds a hole. Levesque bounces it to the outside. It's a race to the end zone, and Wooten again with the touchdown, saving tackle for the Steelhawks.
Well, and that's their lightning right there. That's their athletic running back, and Ren Levesque. He looks like he was banged up a bit on that play, but we'll hope he's back in soon. But that all comes down to the O-line right there. 2 plays in a row where they got a great push on that defensive line for Superior Heights. And on both plays, you saw 2 different style running backs make big chunk plays. But that one right there with Ren, he just needs a little bit of space to get to that second level, and then he can cause some real damage in space.
Absolutely. You know, Levesque, as you said, the lightning of the team. Nice 27-yard carry. It looks like he's able to make his way off the field here in quick fashion, which, you know, it's a good sign. As I said, you hate to see people face an injury early in this game, but both players spry to get off the field. And it's going to be another big first down here for St. Mary's, as they've yet to face any real downage adversity this series here. Juma under center. They go with the hard count. Juma takes the snap, hands it off. It's Jackson going the other way. Jackson cuts back over the middle, is wrapped up, but is going to be close to first down yardage. And just another nice run by him.
I've been really impressed watching the St. Mary's O-line develop over the last month or so. They had some struggles early on in the year, a very young group, going up against some very stiff competition in the high school loop this year. A lot of parity and a lot of experience on the other teams. But this St. Mary's offensive line is really starting to blossom, and that's 3 big run chunk plays in a row by this group.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're just showing how well they can march down the field, putting themselves in the red zone. Let's see if they can be the first team to punch it in here today. Will Iadance, I think that is, at center for the Knights. Juma under center, takes the snap, opens up, drops back, airs it out, just out of the reach of Hunter Jackson. It's going to fall incomplete. Sets up 2nd and 10.
And that's really where we'll see this offense start to take a next step. Juma, coming into this season out of junior football, very much known to be a run-first quarterback, more of an athlete than, say, a pocket passer. But we've seen an effort from Coach Caruso to try and get him more involved in the quick pass game in the last couple of weeks. And if Juma can start to develop into that guy in the absence of Alex Hayes, they're going to have a couple of weapons under center at St. Mary's.
All right, Juma back under center, takes the snap, hands it off. Jaheim Perot-Didier's first carry of the game, right up the middle, good hard yards, gonna bring up about 3rd and 6, and yeah, it looks like they're gonna send on the extra point team for a field goal, so I think that's the safe call to go with here in this game.
And this is what caught St. Mary's 2 weeks ago in Cora. They moved the ball great for several drives from the 20 to 20-yard line. They moved the ball really well, really effectively. Did a good job of balancing things out. It's when they got in the shadow of the goalpost that they started to limp a little bit when it came to their offense. On that play, a first down incomplete. It really stalls their drive, and now they'll go for the extra point or the 3 points here.
Kick is up and good.
Cuglietta's kick is good. I believe that was a distance of 11 yards, maybe 12.
And he's been so steady this year. He's kicked a lot of field goals for the St. Mary's group. And we saw a lot of occasions where Coach Duplin and that coaching staff opted to go for the field goal throughout the year despite chances or maybe reasonable opportunities to go for it on 3rd downs. And you have to think that that's just developing that special teams unit for games like this, because it could be a tight one here today, and certainly could be the difference if you have a special teams unit that can put points on whenever they get the chance.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And as we saw in the game prior this afternoon, Superior Heights unable to perform in the red zone, several times opted to go for touchdowns or big 4th down plays instead of taking those field goals that might have put them in a better position to win the game. The Steelhawks in their I form under center look on first down. Wooten takes the snap. He drops back to pass, evades the pressure. He's still going and just looks to throw the ball away, and really wise as he was almost 30 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and he got fortunate there. Just got that ball past the line of scrimmage again, which in Canadian football, that's the marker to avoid intentional grounding. But yeah, to evade the ref there too on that play. I mean, he turned around thinking he had a backdoor exit.
I think that was Dominic Cavalier in the pressure for the Knights. A few others back there, I believe Shawana.
It'll be exciting to see if Wooten can use that athleticism and ability to move the pocket today to create some offense. So far, 3 offensive plays and not much to show for it, but you know this offense will figure something out here eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. Wooten and the previous quarterback, Dave Gauthier, really showing their athleticism to work around in the pocket and extend plays as Wooten takes the snap from under center. He rolls out to his left, and he's met with pressure in the backfield, gets away, tosses it downfield, intended for Sarasolo, and it's incomplete. Another big shot for the Steelhawks, and this one's going to fall incomplete. It'll force another punt here for Superior.
Well, St. Mary's doing a great job ratcheting up some pressure on that backfield, really making Wooten have to work extra hard to try and find some open guys. The good news is that he is a quarterback that's capable of it, and that D-line's going to get a lot of steps in today trying to chase him down. But that's certainly another development we've seen from St. Mary's as the season has gone on, is that front 7 really ratcheting up the ability to collapse pockets.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, you've just got to have the ability to generate pressure. And, you know, it's almost a little bit silly that they're going for it out of an under center set like that. But Wooten punting it away, a good punt. About 35 yards in the air, hung up there for a long time too as Cuglietta bounces it to the outside, and he's getting good yardage before being rocked out of bounds by Ethan Fisher. But a nice return of about 15, 16 yards.
What a big hit there by Fisher. Comes from a long line of very good Steelhawks players. His 2 older brothers coming through this program as well. His oldest brother playing, I believe, at Windsor University. So some really great pedigree there. And right there, a confident hit down the sideline. In play still. Great job to square him up and not get a penalty. But Mike Cuglietta also some great speed on that to turn around the corner and break that contain. Could have gone for a much bigger play, but Spear Heights doing a great job to chase it down.
Yeah, absolutely. Recognizes that there's a couple linebacker type bodies in contain over there and just bounces it to the outside and goes and gets his team some good hard yards. Oh no, and there is a player down for the Steelhawks, so we'll take a quick little intermission here and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. Sarasolo able to walk off under his own power. And the defense will take to the field now. And Juma under center. Looks like Jackson and Pro Didier the backs. He takes the snap, hands it off. It's JPD who hits the hole with good speed. Charging forward for a couple more yards. The veteran Will Meta able to bring him down.
And I like St. Mary's effort to try and balance things out and get the pass involved a little bit. But they've been so effective running the ball today. I mean, I've always been of the philosophy, if they can't stop it, don't change what you're doing. And even when St. Mary's is limited on their run gains, it's 3 yards. Their offensive line has done a great job creating space for their backs to make big plays. Let's see if St. Mary's is forced into a passing down here, though.
First down, Juma opens up. It's a GT counter. Jackson hits the hole, and Clement, or sorry, that's Pro Didier. Clement and Meta in on the tackle. Refs blowing it dead.
Great hit by Max Clement there. Obviously, biggest thing to realize there when you're a linebacker is where's your sticks. And they did a great job of holding their depth, making sure that they didn't fall back and try to chase the play from behind. It takes a lot of courage to try and hit one of these running backs square up like that, but Max Clement, despite his size, is a tough customer.
Yeah, absolutely. Clement having himself a big season here with the Steelhawks. It's going to be 3rd and 3 for the Knights. See what they're able to cook up here, whether they'll punt it away or maybe try something a little special as it's only a short line to gain and you're deep into opponent territory, but
yeah, we did see a fake from St. Mary's last week, I believe.
Yeah.
So they do have stuff in their playbook.
Several fake punts this afternoon from the junior teams who played. But Giordano just going to punt that one away and going to go out of bounds maybe around the 20. And they'll mark it down at 17. Or no, we'll see eventually where they spot it. Not too bad of a punt by Giordano. Maybe 17 yards.
Well, another chance here for Spear Heights to try and claw back that deficit. Their defense holding up so far against this St. Mary's crew that's had the most of the offensive production here so far today. We haven't really seen much from Spear Heights, just trying to figure out this St. Mary's defense and find some breaks in it.
couple incomplete passes and a lot of pressure in the backfield on Wooten has just put them in a bit of an odd situation. So they do come back out in the I form. And Wooten here under center takes the snap, and they hand it off to Trevisinu, who follows his blockers. Gets some good hard yards, gain of about 3 or 4. It's going to be second down.
That was an odd formation. I don't know if there's a personnel mix-up there or something. It definitely seemed like they had an extra guy in that backfield, or maybe it was an intentional motion out of it. But so far, that might be the most productive play that we've seen from Spear Heights in that power game. They're really going to have to figure out something if they're going to stick with it, because it's not producing so many results yet.
Well, you know, John, in pregame I saw St. Mary's trying to adjust to the heavy set that they knew Superior was going to run, and able to do it here with 6 down linemen. And looks like Sarasolo's just trying to see if he's going to get tracked or not, to see maybe if they can catch St. Mary's lacking and get a big chunk play. And they go with the toss to Trevisinu to the outside. Bounces it up, able to avoid a couple defenders, turn into a positive gain. It'll be 3rd and short.
St. Mary is a very young team, and like I've said over this broadcast so far here today, I've really seen them take strides in the last few weeks. It started off pretty bleak for them to start the season. They were getting rolled by Spirit Heights early, Cora. They lost the game to White Pines for the first time in probably 15-plus years.
Yeah.
And it really seemed like things might not be their way this year, but this coaching staff was able to get them back on task. Yes, last week we saw them come out with the determination to get that goose egg off their win column. And it's hard to forget that this team and this program was in the finals for the last 3 years, winning a championship as well 2 years ago.
Absolutely, and Matty Tucker and that squad able to advance all the way to the OFSA Bowl. You know, big show out for Sault Ste. Marie, and see if the Knights can get back to their previous ways here. But coming out in a little bit more of a spread offense, and timeout called by one of the teams here, and we'll take another short break and we'll be right back. All right. 3rd down, and the offense is going to stay on for the Steelhawks. They try to get the Knights to jump. They stay home. Wooten changing the play. Go for the hard count again.
Yeah, I wonder if they're just trying to get them off and use a timeout here.
And
they're going to take the delay of game
violation. Okay. It's going to back them up 5, and it'll be the first penalty of the game.
Yeah, that'll back them up by about 5 yards, and I think at the end of the day, that was what they were told to go out and do, is just try to get that St. Mary's defense to jump, try and get a free first down. If you can't, take the yards and punt it away.
Absolutely. You know, that's not really a bad call. If you're planning on punting it anyways, no harm in just punting it from 5 yards deeper and attempting to get a first down. I think it's a worthy gamble. Wooten takes the snap. Kick is up. Another good punt to the boundary. Hangs up there for a little bit. Bounces over Cooley at his head. Better field coverage this time. But he sneaks away. Oh, he almost gets away from Will Meta, who's able to hang on and bury Cuglietta for a loss on the return. Good play there by the Steelhawks.
Yeah, much better coverage by the punt team this time by the Steelhawks, really taking away that contain. And Cuglietta's a fast guy. You know, I'd like to see him try to look for maybe a cut lane and try and get 5 or 10 yards out of that. But Spear Heights knows he's going to try and make the big play almost every time he gets it with his wheels. Good job there corralling it. And it took a team effort to try and take him down on that one, but they were able to do so.
First and 10 for the Knights on their own 54-yard line. Juma under center. Jackson and Levesque the backs. It's Levesque up the middle, and Fisher's all over it.
Yeah, great adjustment by that Spear Heights D-line. They've done something different here with their personnel positioning or the way that they're approaching this run game, because the last 2 series, we've seen them do a much better job at clogging up those holes. Makes me wonder if we're not going to see that motion by Cole Reve result in something where they're trying to get him the ball in space here on second down.
Absolutely. You know, getting an athlete like Reve the ball with, you know, time to go is, I'm just realizing now that they've adapted a similar offense to Cora's wing T. As Juma here is going to drop back to pass and gets it over to Jackson on a little screen-type play, who takes off for good yardage, and Jackson into space. One man to beat, but Cruz Diaz able to hang on as Jackson's going to go 35 yards for a first down.
Yeah, nice little backdoor screen, some good window dressing on it. I don't think Spirit Heights really was anticipating that being in their playbook today. And Hunter Jackson just needed 1 or 2 blocks, and he did the rest. Just a big hidden space, and once he starts getting moving, and now you're asking the defense to man up and put their head in front of him a bit. And you saw some hesitation to try and square up, trying to chase him from behind, and that's going to lead to some big gains.
Kenny Williamson with the touchdown-saving tackle.
Juma takes the snap, hands it off. It's Levesque up the middle. Levesque powering forward. Run down by Clement. Good gain on the play.
Yeah, we saw a lot of this wing T look from St. Mary's last week when they faced off against White Pines. Really came out and ran a lot of buck sweep and plays of that nature, and it really had a big effect. And you're starting to wonder if the St. Mary's team just isn't buying into the idea that their best players are the running backs, and they have a handful of them. So they're figuring out ways to use as many of them as possible.
Absolutely. It's a good way to look to attack it. Is also back in the lineup is Charles McInnes, playing the tight end on the left side there. Juma taking the snap, hands it off. It's Levesque up the middle. Levesque in space. And Madaw able to hold on, but Levesque powering forward for a nice first down.
Well, great job by Levesque. First to find the hole. It kind of closed up on him as he was attacking it, but then moving his feet through the tackles as well. And he's not the biggest running back you're going to see out there, but he's able to fight through it, keep his feet planted, pushing through, and drags the defender for another 5 yards or so. Nice first down.
Yeah, absolutely. Just production is everything, and all the misdirection of the wing T is just what gives them the ability to open up holes on the backside and lead Superior away from the play. As Juma takes the snap, and there it is. Reve into space, and he walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Knights.
Well, it's been fun to see St. Mary's try to figure out how to use their weapons this season. They've changed things around quite a few times. When we started this year, you had Cole Reve motioning into the backfield and taking a lot of handoffs. We know last year he led the senior loop in receiving touchdowns in his grade 11 year. So he's a great weapon. If you can figure out ways to just get him a little bit of space and time, he's going to do some damage. And we see him finally used here today in a big way.
Absolutely, and Cuglietta now to attempt the extra point. And he punts it through. Goes all the way back to the track, and it's good.
Well, coming into this game, I just had a feeling that St. Mary's was going to be a little bit more than what Spear Heights saw last couple times they played them. These last 2 weeks, we've really seen them take a few steps forward. And like we mentioned here just a few minutes ago, they've kind of changed up their offense to really use that ground game to their advantage, using that wing T system. So now we'll see if Spear Heights can adjust. I mean, this team's been competitive this year. They have a lot of experience. We know that coaching staff over there is very gifted. We will see if they can adjust, but I don't know if anyone thought we'd be going into the second quarter 10-0 St. Mary's just yet.
Yeah, you know, it's a big loss here so far for Superiors. They're down 10 points early on in this game, and this is going to be a really pivotal drive as they need to look to get themselves in the red zone and even secure a field goal to just show, hey, we can get there and we can score as well and put ourselves on the board and give St. Mary's a little bit of a run for their money.
For those maybe who weren't following this season, St. Mary's lost earlier in the year, I think 19-12 to White Pines. It was the first senior win for that very small school in almost 15 years. And I think that was a real check for St. Mary's to figure out what they're going to be as an identity. These last couple of weeks, we've really seen that change. And last week, they thumped White Pines in a revenge game. And it was almost an omen of what might come this week. I mean, we'll see if they can do it for 4 full quarters, but they're definitely starting to establish an identity here at St. Mary's with this young group, coming in with a new generation, trying to put their own stamp on it. And here today, they've really put Spear Heights on notice.
Cuglietta back with the kicking team. Okay, they spread out. Superior Heights adjusting. Cuglietta with a big boot, almost more of a moonshot. Takes a bounce around the 25. It's recovered by
I have to see who that number was. I don't think 97 was onside if that's a lineman. So it's probably going to be a penalty and give it to Spear Heights here. But the officials are going to have to check it out first, make sure that wasn't an onside man.
No, but I don't think you need to be an onside man on kickoff. I think anybody.
Oh, that's
can recover
kickoff.
it.
You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah, you're totally right.
And the Knights recover the football. And it's going to be St. Mary's football on the 25-yard line. What a play there. Number 97, Michael Amabike, making a play for the Knights. Able to let one of his teammates get the ball back and give St. Mary's another chance to put points on the board here in the first quarter.
Yeah, I don't know what I was contemplating in my head, where I had in my head that was a punt.
Well, yeah, like that's the issue with the 5-yard halo rule is now you confuse it. And as a player myself, getting out there and running down on kickoff, and it's in the back of your head. You know, the coaches drill it into you so much on punt team, and sometimes you confuse the two. But, you know, that's the difference between players who know what they're doing and don't. If you can dial in and make sure you know your assignment, you can get down there and get the ball back for your team. Juma hands it off to Jackson. Jackson to the outside, following his blockers and into the end zone. Oh, but a flag comes out at the last minute on the goal line. We'll see what they call it here, but just nice run by Hunter Jackson to follow his blocks and make a couple of cuts and find his way to the end zone.
Well, I mean, this is a couple of jarring minutes for Superior Heights. They came into this the heavy favorites with a 4-2 record, the higher of the 2 seeds. And you see St. Mary's scored seconds ago. It was, I think, about 43 seconds left to go on the clock, and a kickoff recovered. And then first play after that, another rushing touchdown. It looks like this is going to come back, but if you're Spear Heights, your coaching staff on your sideline, you need to hype those kids up and get them back into this, because one thing you don't want to do is lose that sideline right now.
No, I'll tell you for sure that a sideline attitude can change a game. Yeah, it'll be a hold against St. Mary's.
After the first down, I believe. So it'll be 1st and 10 St. Mary's. I believe they're marking it at the 15.
So Jackson will still have gained some yards for his team. It'll be a first down from the 15-yard line. So not such a bad situation. Still well within Cuglietta's field goal range. Let's see what they can do here. Juma under center. Takes the snap, opens up. Levesque finding his way through the hole. He's taken down. I believe that's Meta again, who's having himself a game tonight. Chunk gain of about 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah, great to see Will Meta sticking around for another year of high school, trying to help this Spear Heights team put on a good performance this year. Very experienced team, a great chance for them to put up a big finish to their season. I mean, they're in a bit of a hole here, but a guy like Will Meta is someone you're counting on to make plays to flip this momentum back around.
Yeah, absolutely. A little sub here as Levesque hobbles off and Pro Didier comes in. You go for a bit more of a spread look. A little bit of spin cycle, and it goes to Jackson, who gets enough. Flags come out everywhere. Another flag.
Yeah,
wow.
So I'm wondering if that's not a face mask at the goal line and then a bench penalty on the Spear Heights sideline. And if that's the case, either way, it's going to be at the 1-yard line for Spear Heights or less, or for St. Mary's or less.
I don't understand. See, this is the issue with opening your mouth in a football game. You know, you're down 10 points. A big play's already happened. You can't change it because the refs have made up their mind. And, you know, you go and maybe say something, and now you've just put your defense in a worse spot. And the worst thing is some kids who do that, you know, you have a chance to go back out there on the field and own it and get back for your team. But those coaches, they can't do anything. They're just kind of they've let their team down, right?
Yeah, and I think especially when you're not the head coach, it's the one taking it. I've been
Yeah.
a position coach and a coordinator in the past, and when you're the guy that gets those 15 yards applied to your team, some dirty looks you usually get from that head coach on your sideline. Because ultimately, for those who don't know the rule, it reflects on the head coach. It's your head coach that ends up taking that penalty, and that's, if it accumulates, your head coach can miss the next game too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely a situation you don't want to be in. But Juma goes under center and takes it in himself for a touchdown, St. Mary's.
Man, what a start to this game for St. Mary's. This young group, we talked about the adversity they faced this year, having to reinvent themselves, figure out their identity. These last couple of weeks, we saw some of this coming. We saw them really growing into their roles and their young players starting to have some confidence. And I don't know if Superior Heights thought that they were going to get hit in the mouth quite like this to start this game. The good news is, if you're Superior Heights, you are the veteran of the two teams here, and maybe some, confidence boost coming from your head coach, some reminders that this game's far from over.
Yeah, absolutely. You just got to look for just about anything to grab onto here in a game like this. You're down 17, and it's win or go home. And, for a team that has more seniors than the other, you don't want to go home. You don't want this to be the last game you play being down 17 in the first quarter. It's time to pull all your get all your things in line here, and time to go get yourself a W. You got to fight hard and leave everything out there on the field.
Yeah, and if I'm coach to say, I'm going up to my captains and my vets, the guys that have the ability to change the momentum and the attitude on the field, and I'm demanding that they do something to just get this team hyped up a bit, whether it be a smart play, a big hit, a crucial block, just something where you as a coaching staff can celebrate from that sideline and get your kids there fired up and believing that good things can still happen.
All right, so that's the last play of the first quarter, and, just about as fresh start as you're going to get here in the first half, and Superior Heights set to return. Taking their time over there as the St. Mary's kickoff team. Maybe they're dialing up something special, and you definitely want to secure possession. They tell you on kick return and punt return is the most important thing is securing possession of the football. And, Superior Heights failing to do that last time this team was on the field. Let's see if they can change that now. Wooten, the quarterback, and Sarah Solo back to return for the Steelhawks.
Yeah, and the kickoff return for the Steelhawks still leaving quite a bit of space there after that second level of their return. It's a pretty vulnerable area, so you're probably sending out a message to your return guys at the back. Rush up to that ball, try to catch from the air. Don't wait for the second level to corral it.
All right. Kickoff team spreading out. Cuglietta getting set. He takes off. Nice kick over the middle. It dribbles. Fielded by Solo. Tries to make a cut, but is thrown down by Cole Reve.
Oh, he's doing everything for them here today. Big hit from their offensive weapon. He's just a do-it-all athlete. I've coached him years ago on the Bobcats when we used to play in Michigan. And
oh, wow.
He, in practice, he was just a kid that was just trying to constantly earn a spot from the older kids. And he was an effort guy then. You've seen that develop in him as he's been here at St. Mary's over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just turned into a really reliable receiver who's got good hands, and you can just toss it up to whenever you need a good touchdown. And as you said, he's now turned into a more versatile athlete, able to score on the ground and produce just about anywhere for his team. All right, first down for the Steelhawks, and more of their spread offense look. Wooten in the gun, trips to his right. Takes the snap, hands it off. It's Trevisan. Trevisan following his blockers, breaking tackles, finally tripped up by Spatafora. Good run by Trevisan to give his team a little bit of life.
Well, it's a good sign from this Superior Heights offense. They spread it out a bit, get some guys out of the box in that defense, allow their offensive line to go back to some more traditional down-blocking roles. And they were one tackle away from Travis Anu breaking that one big. So some signs of life from this Superior Heights offense just in time.
All right. A new set of downs from Travis Anu. Wooten takes the snap, airs it out for Brock. It's going to be a little high. As I noticed, Cole Reve on the defense for the Knights, turning himself into a little bit of a two-way player.
Yeah, all hands on deck here in the playoffs, it seems, for St. Mary's. And I was watching on that play, St. Mary's dialing up some stunts and some cross blitzes. They were trying to bring pressure on that old line and challenge them to make some communication work happen in that group. And it's a tough thing to do, to trade off blocks at this level when you're not used to facing that type of pressure. And St. Mary's is dialing it up here on Spear Heights' offensive line.
Absolutely, and Ray Duplin, a little bit of a wild defensive coordinator, trying to get in that backfield and get after Wooten. Wooten to the outside. He's got Sarasolo. Sarasolo throws a little move, gets up the field, and gets enough for a first down. Steelhawks.
Yeah, I like that move by Sarasolo. I don't like when players get the ball and they dance too much in space, but that little jab step and hesitation there was just enough to get him the edge, and all he needed was another 3 or 4 yards, and he was able to get that by freezing that initial defender.
First completion on the night for Wooten. He's able to make his reads, find his check down, and ensure a first down on a 2nd and long there. They're going to stay in the spread look, as they know they need to force the ball out. 1st and 10. Quads to his left. Wooten takes the snap, looks to his left. It's a screen, and Liam Dubois able to retrace in the backfield and get Travis Anu. Downfield, the flag comes out. Drayden Brock has his helmet off. A player down for the Knights, but I would just like to shout out number 44, that's Sebastian Sistaro, who made a big play getting there to slow Trevisanu down, and it's going to be a loss of 2.
Yeah, great job by number 44 there, Sistaro. He sniffed that out right away. I mean, he did not fall for the window dressing on the quad side. It looked like there might have been a bubble screen. Wooten looking off the safety. Goes back to that backside screen that we saw St. Mary's run a little earlier. And he just fired in there and shut that play down, bought his teammates time to come in and clean it up.
Yeah, and it is going to be an objectionable conduct, as I knew which number it was, but I'll refrain from saying it here live. But the man who's in coverage on Drayden Brock, and he had a little bit of extracurriculars, and his helmet did come off, so penalty will go against St. Mary's, and it'll set up a new set of downs for the Steelhawks. Wooten in the gun, trips to his left, takes the snap, looks left, pressure coming, he airs it out down the field for Sarasolo, who's wide open, and the pressure just got there. Sistaro again with a big play. Darren Jacarton also getting involved in the pressure. It's going to be 2nd and 10 for the Steelhawks.
You know what, though? Great composure there by Wooten to stand in that pocket with a collapsing in his face. He knew he was going to take a hit. He knew to anticipate number 9 breaking out into that route, and he threw it up in space and just hoped his guy could get there. And I think Sistero just didn't, number 9, Chase Sarasolo. I think he just tracked the ball too late. I don't think he knew where it was. It was released that early. But
yeah, absolutely. But good on Wooten to recognize the coverage and that his man would be open on the wheel route there, motioning Brock out. He takes the snap, drops back, pressure coming, and Wooten to the outside. Great speed. He decides to take off for himself and gets enough for the first down. 11 yards on the carry, and Wooten keeping the drive alive for the Steelhawks.
Yeah, he's just such a great athlete. He's an undersized quarterback, but he uses legs great. And on that one, able to get enough for the first down. But that's also something that St. Mary's, I think, has to be coached up on, is if you're going to send the pressure, that outside guy has to be contained against a quarterback.
Absolutely.
Like Wooten. You can't overshoot.
Shawana had been on the boundary side there and just couldn't keep contained, as the block was good from Staniforth. But I've also noticed that Juma is on the defense at safety.
Really, all
They're
hands
just,
on deck.
Yeah, all hands on deck for the Knights. Wooten trips to his right in the gun, takes the snap, rolls out, Trecarton in pressure, hears it out, Sarasolo downfield is wide open, and he's in for the touchdown, Steelhawks.
I love everything about that from Wooten. His footwork, his eyes looking off the safety. He was well coached on that play, and he delivers it perfectly on the throw as well. Just everything was designed to throw off the coverage on that play. And it all comes from Wooten's little details in his backfield motion, his eyes, his feet. Just a great play by Wooten. Looks like a real veteran out there now.
Yeah, absolutely. Good on Wooten. Once again, just able to recognize they're bringing the pressure. This is the coverage they're in. They only have one safety high, and he just makes something happen for his team here and gives them a little bit of life. Great drive by him. All right, they take the snap, and Wooten's kick is up and good.
Wooten's kick is up and good.
Well, Spear Heights needed as a response there after a shocking first quarter where they really got hit in an unexpected way. But now you're starting to see a lot of these core veteran players on Spear Heights taking some charge, trying to make some big plays. And on that drive, it was led by their quarterback, Dylan Wooten.
Yeah, absolutely great play there by Wooten. Just a great set of plays in general. Able to go out there and put Superior on the board. And as you said before, that Superior is 2-0 this season against the Knights. And Wooten there just able to show that we're not out of this yet, and we know it. There's a lot of football left to be played, but they're going to need some defensive stops here against this super heavy offense of the Knights.
And we talked about it earlier, too. They were in that heavy formation, their stacked eye, and they just weren't getting anywhere because St. Mary's really came out with a game plan to try and take that away. And as soon as they went into that spread pistol, you really started to see things move around on defense, some space open up for their run game a little bit. But it's also forcing Wooten to go to what he does best, and that's sit in the pocket and look for open throws. And his footwork and his eyes, the way that he misdirects the safeties, really impresses me. I haven't got a chance to actually watch him play live here yet this year. This is the best version of Dylan Wooten I've ever seen.
Well, absolutely. Just now in the absence of Dave Gauthier being able to step up and fill the Superior Heights quarterback shoes, Wooten has definitely showed that he's versatile enough to play in this league. And, might I add, playing without his favorite target, Max Schillingford. All right, he boots it. It's fielded. Oh, and it's off the hands of Spadafora, who's able to pick it up. Tries to follow his blocks. Tries to shake a tackle. It's chased down. Fisher, among others, in there.
Spadafora brings it back across the 35.
Good return. About 16 yards. It's going to be first down for the Knights.
So we've seen an adjustment from Superior Heights offense. We'll see if that adjustment applies to the defense now, too. If these vets on this side of the ball can start to keep this game close, get a stop. The nice thing about three-down football is it's not quite as difficult to just make a big play. That one play could set off an entire series. And then all of a sudden you're looking at trying to go down and score again to make this a one-score game.
Yeah, you know, it's just been an absolutely great game here tonight so far. And Wooten keeping the game exciting as he's also going to come out here and sport the pink gloves on defense. St. Mary's offense starting in the wing T look. Juma under center. And they draw Girardi offside, the veteran for the Steelhawks. He's going to be upset with himself about that, but, you know, Meta there, or actually, sorry, that's Billingsley reminding him that, you know, it's already over with and nothing you can do here. So let's see what they're capable of.
Yeah, 2nd and 5. And we saw St. Mary's run that freeze quite a few times over the last few weeks, and it worked to great success against Cora, actually, of all teams, a team that's usually been very disciplined at watching the ball, especially the kids that came up through junior with Coach Elliott. So
Yeah,
it's a good hard count that Juma has because it's been getting guys all season.
It has, and there he is, Juma. He hands it to Jackson, and Girardi gets him in the backfield. Also in there with number 65, that's Jonah Hargan on the defensive line. And to hold Hunter Jackson to a yard there is a big play as, you know, once he gets a full head of steam, he's hard to bring down.
Well, that's how you make it up to your teammates there after going offside or encroachment from Girardi. Steps up on the edge, doesn't fall for any of the window dressing, just collapses and meets Jackson head on. And that ends up being a 3rd down. That's a huge play for the Spear Heights defense.
All right, 2nd and 4 for the Knights. Juma takes the snap, a little bit of misdirection. It's Levesque, and Levesque is stopped after 2 short yards, and the Knights are going to be faced with a big decision as the Steelhawks come up with another big defensive stop.
Yeah, great stand there by the front 7 for Spear Heights, getting themselves in a hole early with a 5-yard penalty. 2 great stops of this run game that's been on fire today. And now if you're If you're Coach Caruso here, this is a big gamble because you could let Spear Heights right back in the game if you don't get this. And it looks like they're going to opt to punt.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, trust in your defense as they've already shut Superior down a number of times tonight. And, you know, Coach Caruso's just not going to think twice about this. Boot it deep and pin Superior back with 6 minutes left and see if they can maybe turn the ball over themselves. All right, Giordano back to punt. Wooten and number 88, I believe that's Tarazinski. It is back to return.
What a punt.
Nice punt by Giordano. It's going to go more than 35 yards downfield. Wooten on the return gets to the outside, running away from people. Will Iadens able to track him down, and a flag comes out on the tackle. Good punt by Giordano.
Well, one thing you can say about Superior Heights over the years is they have not been shy about letting their quarterbacks be all-round stars. Like, they do not protect their guy and keep them locked up. They let them play safety, punt returner. We've seen them on kickoff coverage and kicking. Like, we've seen Dake Goche and Gabe Barkley used in so many different roles over the years, and they're doing the same thing with their star player in Wooten here today.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, now playing with Dake Goche at the college, filling out similar roles, being a punter and special teamer and making his way on as the second string quarterback and playing safety and Sam linebacker. And really, he is the Swiss Army knife. That's what we call him. And he's earned that name for a reason, as he's capable to do just about anything. And it looks like the penalty is going to be assessed to the Steelhawks. Thankfully, they won't face a 1st and long. It'll still be a 1st and 10, but wholly from deep in their own zone. 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line of the Steelhawks. Wooten takes the snap, and it's just a sweep to the outside, finding a lane, running through defenders. And Wooten apparently is smoked out of bounds as the Steelhawks, it appears by Juma. This is the
Quarterback on quarterback crime there.
Yeah, a little bit of excitement over there from the St. Mary's bench.
Yeah, and I think that's more so just seeing your quarterback willing to get in there and get his hands dirty with a big hit on defense. And that's the type of thing I was talking about earlier. If you're a coaching staff, you've got to celebrate those type of plays on your sideline because that works up your players, tells them what your expectation is, what you're looking for out of them. And every time you have a big play like that, and unfortunately it looks like there's a rough – that might have been an out-of-bounds hit.
Play. Wow.
I didn't see the flag there, Donnie. Did you?
I also did not see the flag. But I did see the line judge over here taking his time with the sticks, ensuring that they didn't move. A little unfortunate that St. Mary's drew a penalty there, as that would have been a big play. But Wooten in the gun, trips to his left, takes the snap, hands it off. Trevis Anu to the outside, 1 man to beat, and Juma with a big tackle, as Trevis Anu would have been dangerously in open space. Still a good gain of 7.
Well, Juma's being counted on big time here tonight, too. We just talked about the tradition of Superior Heights using their quarterbacks in many different ways. St. Mary's doing the same here with Juma, who's just a great athlete. And Travis Anu, that's a touchdown almost every time we've seen him get in that kind of space.
Oh, absolutely.
Just an incredible play there by Aaron Juma.
All right, and timeout for the night.
Yeah, I think they had a personnel issue or forced them to call it.
I think they had too many people on the field there, as they made some defensive substitutions. But just a great game here so far, and with that timeout, we'll just take a short break. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the timeout for St. Mary's is over. We are back. 2nd and 3 for the Steelhawks. A big second down here. Juma comes down from the safety spot. And they do get St. Mary's again for an automatic first down. Didn't see exactly who jumped, but that hard count working both ways on the field tonight. Another substitution. Giordano comes on for Palumbo.
Yeah, and I think
Spirit Heights
needs to use that more often. Just the sheer aggression that you've seen from this front seven with St. Mary's, the timing blitzes that they've been doing. You want to neutralize that and kind of make them be cautious and actually wait for the ball to be snapped. That's the way to do it. You take a little bit of bite out of this pass rush when you do that.
Oh, absolutely, and give your offensive line a little bit of an edge, especially because I think they're still missing Grayson Monero. But a new set of downs here. 1st and 10, Wooten in the gun. He takes the snap, and it's an immediate throw to a wide-open Sarasolo, who tries to make it. Oh, and he runs over a defender for a good gain.
Yeah, big play there by Sarasola. It's not going to result in massive yards, but again, that's one of those things we were talking about a little bit earlier. As your coaching staff on the sideline, you just want a couple of plays where you can celebrate and send a tone to your sideline. This is what we're looking for. This is the attitude we want here today. And Sarasola just dropping his shoulder in the end of the play, knocking over a St. Mary's defender. That's the type of stuff that starts to change the momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just, as you said, it's exactly what you want to see out of your players there. All right. Wooten in the gun, quads to his left. 2nd and 4 for the Steelhawks. He takes the snap, and it's a draw, and Trevisan gets away from LeBlanc. He's still wrapped up short of the line to gain, but able to turn that into a positive gain when everybody was in the backfield. And yeah, you know what, if I'm superior.
If your Spirit Heights and you're a different spot than St. Mary's is here, I mean, maybe do a couple of different personnel swaps, maybe go back to your heavy package, but
yeah,
it makes
there
sense
they go.
if you're Spirit Heights to go for it.
Meta coming on. And you know what, down in this game, I said this earlier today, that playoff football entails gutsy calls, and oh my goodness, I'd almost run a toss here, because if you look on the field side, it's Giordano against the world, as the Knights have put 8 men on the line, and
you got cover 0 here too.
yeah, absolutely. And yeah. And they run toss to the boundary, and Trevisan able to get out of there. Gain of almost 10 yards.
Well, great job there.
Yeah, they're calling it 11.
St. Mary's stacks the box, trying to prevent that between tackles running. And right there, you're just able to get a short side pitch. Works to your advantage. I think St. Mary's anticipating maybe going to the field side on that play, or the strong side, but great little play call. It works out. You know, we say great play call. If it doesn't work out,
yeah, then it's not such
a
well,
great
you know
call
what,
play,
though? I think when you recognize an 8-man line, I think your quarterback should be able to say, hey, man.
Get it out in space.
Oh, and look at right there what I talked about earlier today, Giordano adjusting late, and you could see Sarasolo call off that play call there, as they were most likely just going to throw it deep to him. And Trevisan able to get a couple more yards. Dubois tracking him down, the veteran defensive lineman, for the tackle. Gain of 3 yards.
Yeah, and as of right now, staying under center again. We saw them kind of get away from that after the first couple of series where they were stalling on offense.
Well, absolutely. Could you imagine a toss to the field side right now? They bring Sarasolo out to the left, okay? Now imagine they motion him to the right, and then they run toss to the field. Trevisan has 2 blockers out in front of him, and it's dangerous. But Wooten here dropping back. Pressure from Palumbo. He rolls out to his left. Shawana airs it out downfield, and Drayden Brock drops the pass. And it's incomplete. What an adjustment by Wooten. And I see the St. Mary's bench getting upset, looking for a hold on Palumbo. But there was a slight tug on the jersey. But the referees understood that, it didn't interrupt Palumbo moving through the field at all. So, it's a good call to avoid that there. And it's going to bring up 3rd and long. And it looks like they're just going to go for it. 2 minutes left here in the half. And as I said, aggressive play calling is everything in playoff football. And this is where you come out with it. And Drayden Brock just going to want that one back.
Yeah, we almost.
As that would have put them well into field goal range and set them up for a big play. And it looks like they're going to head back to their spread here.
Yeah, we were real close to witnessing some Wooten magic there. Just the ability to get out to the sideline, cross his body, throw it 25 yards downfield, and hit his man with a ton of pressure in his face was just crazy.
Absolutely. And St. Mary's with another personnel issue, having to call another timeout. Sure, they're going to be a little frustrated about that there, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back from the timeout break. 3rd down and 6 for the Steelhawks. Wooten in the gun, trips to his left. Brock on the line as a tight end. Let's see what they dial up here. Wooten takes the snap, and it's a quick kick, but it hovers in the air.
Those guys are onside.
And those guys are all onside, and Travis Anu able
They're
to
gonna
recover
review this,
it.
yeah.
And
They're
there's
gonna
no
review this.
yards.
No, they're going to review this because I think they're going to consult as refs. Usually they always will throw that flag just in case.
Yeah,
but they're going to talk about who's onside.
Travis Anu was definitely onside, but I think...
Was it enough for a first down
I think
also?
the issue is if there was someone in that halo who is not an onside player and Travis Anu touches it, I believe...
Oh, that's a good point, Donnie. There was a whole group of guys.
There
I don't
was-
know if all
there
those
were-
guys in motion were onside.
Well, see,
though.
there were 3 people here onside behind the quarterback who was the punter in the situation, but there were 4 people, I believe. Jake, could we get a little replay of that? Oh, it's already gone? Oh, yeah.
Just chaos on that play. I mean, the idea is right. Totally snuck in an onside punt attempt there. And I think Wooten would wish he could get a little bit more depth out of it just to make sure it gets past that first down mark and to make sure that his guys have a little bit of time to clear that space if they're not one of the onside guys. And I think they're both going to ask for explanations here on the coaching sidelines.
Yeah, they both want to know what the coaches saw, but if I remember correctly, there were 3 players onside, and I believe there were 4 within the 5-yard halo, as only if you're onside can you enter it and recover the ball.
Yeah, I don't envy
Travis
the
Anu.
officials right now trying to sort this one out because
Yeah.
they have to do that in live time with no replay, no sky view.
Yeah, it's going to be a long one. While we're sitting here waiting for the officials, we'll talk about some nominees for the league awards. We'll start with most outstanding player from the Cora Colts fullback linebacker AJ Cachamilio. From the Superior Heights Steelhawks, the quarterback safety Dylan Wooten. From the St. Mary's Knights, the wide receiver DB Cole Reve, and Garen Pine, the quarterback from the White Pines Wolverines. We'll take a minute. We'll talk about most outstanding linemen as well. From the Cora Colts, Aiden Watch, tight end, left guard, defensive end. From the Superior Heights Steelhawks, offensive defensive lineman Grayson Monero.
All right, folks, after all is said,
From
it looks like they're replaying
the St.
it
Mary's
now.
Knights, offensive defensive lineman Liam Dubois and Wayne Jones-Reed, the offensive defensive lineman.
So I think what happened here, Donnie, is
From
that
White
there was either an indecisiveness from the officials, and they just decided to replay this down.
And Sarah Solo wide open downfield, and Wooten connects with him, and he gets dragged out of bounds inside the 5 by Juma.
Pass to Jets. The Chiefs just
And the Knights didn't see it coming.
What a sequence. They line up as an offense the first play. sneak in a punt that tries to go onside, and then they line up looking like they're going to go for another onside punt. Turns into a fake play and a toss by Wooten to Sarasota.
Wow.
Superior Heights coaching staff are pulling some triggers here today as they try to make this comeback.
What a play by Sarasolo and Wooten, as I'm sure you could see the flow over to the strong side of the field to pick up the onside punt. Everybody vacated where Sarasolo was lined up. Okay, hold on. Let me do my math here. All right, in the heavy set, I would expect a toss play or maybe a play action here. And Sarasolo just going to hang out, maybe even come and add into the box. And there it is, toss to the field side. And Trevisan, it's a race. And Giordano, and he's short. Juma and Giordano combine for the stop. They're going to call it maybe a gain of a yard. And if I'm Trevisan, I'm almost cutting that up somewhere and just trying to run through somebody.
Just a little bit impatient there, not giving his blockers a chance to give him a cutback lane, and tries to race it to the outside, and this St. Mary's defense has some speed themselves.
And we're going to take a quick little – actually, you know what? We'll go back to the remaining awards as there's a player down for the Knights. So for the most outstanding receiver award, the Rocky DiPietro Trophy, Cam Williamson from the Cora Colts, Max Schillingford, who unfortunately is not playing today for the Steelhawks, Cole Reve for the St. Mary's Knights, and Neshoba Moore for the White Pines Wolverines. The Offensive Player of the Year, Sioux Sabercats Trophy, Peyton Malchiori from the Cora Colts, Ben Trevisan from the Superior Heights Steelhawks, Aaron Juma from the St. Mary's Knights, and DJ Pine for the White Pines Wolverines. Defensive Player of the Year, we don't have a nominee for Superior Heights, I'm noticing. But from the Cora Colts, it's Cohen Manchelenko. From the St. Mary's Knights, it's Cam Contalainen. From the White Pines Wolverines, it's Lawrence Solomon Ward. And I'm not sure who the Superior Heights Steelhawks have selected as their nominee for the Sioux Steeler Trophy, but yeah. And it's Will Meta is the nominee there for St. Mary's, as I've just learned. So thankfully, Giordano, as you can see, able to walk off under his own power. And here now on what's the 1.5 yard line, will we see another attempt as Wooten here rolling out to his right. He keeps it himself. It's a race to the pylon, and he beats Dracarton. He's into the end zone for a touchdown, Steelhawks.
Great job by this Superior Heights team to settle themselves down after a first quarter that they'd like to forget. It really seemed like St. Mary's is going to start running away with this, but two great offensive drives in a row and some really, really creative special teams plays. I mean, Paul Rossetti, Steve McLeod, they're not there at Superior Heights anymore, but that culture of just going for it on special teams in the playoffs is definitely still there.
Absolutely, and Coach DeSando just doing a great job to bring back the life of the program, and you can see how excited all those kids are, and you know, it's just absolutely great to see Superior finally succeeding again just a couple years into his coaching career. Wooten. Snap is down, and the kick is good, and Wooten cuts St. Mary's lead down to 3.
Yeah, just you can't really talk about it enough. Just the stomach of this Superior Heights core group of players to not panic, to not let their morale get down, to not droop their shoulders and sulk over how this game started. They fought back, and their veteran leaders have really led the way. And Dylan Wooten has just turned into an absolute rock star here in this game, trying to bring this team back.
Absolutely, and as we spoke before, in the absence of your star wide receiver, Max Schillingford, and now who has not re-entered the game, Grayson Monero, and they're just showing out for those guys who don't have the opportunity to go for it themselves, and good on them to pull together and, as you said, put up 14 unanswered so far in the second quarter, keeping St. Mary's off the field.
And how about Chase Sarasolo? Just totally stepping into that zone and becoming a favorite target here for Dylan Wooten here in the second quarter. He's made a couple of big plays, one on offense and now one on special teams as well. He's really becoming a key player here in the last couple of drives.
Absolutely. 88 receiving yards on 4 receptions for Sarasolo. he's just able to keep going and making some big plays. Actually, I'm not sure I can count. I don't know if, oh yeah, it is. Never mind. I can count. All right, Steelhawks changing things up here. Maybe trying to confuse the Knights as they have a little bit of trouble adjusting. Wooten, overload to the top of the field. Makes the kick. It's over. Into the hands of Cuglietta, who cuts it back to the field side. 35 racing down the field, unable to make the tackle. Cuglietta cuts it up. He's following his blocks. Cuglietta into open space, and he's tripped up, but he's still going. Pushed out of bounds, and a big, what some would call a missed call, as he was dragged down by the horse collar out of bounds. Number 52 pushing him out of bounds. That's Colton DeVoe. But what a return by Cuglietta.
I got to tell you, when that return first started, there was a part of me that was wanting to just tell Cuglietta, you're running away from all your blocks. Where are you going? But what he did was he forced all of his blocks to start coming his side of the field, and as soon as he cut back up, he had a wall to run down, and that almost turned into a touchdown play.
All right, let's see what the Knights can make happen here. Great field position after that big return by by Cuglietta.
A little bit of a clock issue here. I think the remote has had some technical issues here in the last little bit, and it's one of the officials that we have down there trying to run it.
Absolutely, Cuglietta going out of bounds there at 1:39 on the clock.
And we'll see if the officials are as accurate with their assessment of where it should be adjusted to. And I'm empathizing with the officials down there. I used to run that clock remote a lot during Sabercats and NASA and OFSA.
It's got its kinks for sure.
When you have to start adjusting seconds and minutes on that, it starts to feel like the whole crowd's impatient with you.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand where you're coming from there. But okay, they're only going to put a minute back on the board. Oh, well, we're counting up here. Minute and 3 seconds, and I guess
you think that they're missing about 30 seconds on that.
I'm telling you for a fact, as we saw on the replay, he stepped out of bounds at a minute 39, and I guess the Knights are just going to settle for that. Hey, hold on, cut us out for a sec. And Juma looking downfield for Reve, going to throw it out of bounds.
That's the first time we've really seen Juma try to air it out here so far today and trying to take a shot here. You know, I don't know if St. Mary's needs to rush anything here. It's 3-down football. The clock stops right after each whistle. You know, try to do what you were doing earlier if you're St. Mary's. Your ground game is working. Once you start to run out of time for real, maybe start to air it out. But try to make your shots at the end zone a little bit more reasonable here and get some chunk plays.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And, you know, you have to look at maybe coming back to that play to Reve, get him out into space, or, you know, maybe target one of your other wide receivers, A.J. Romano, untargeted so far this game, the vet receiver. And Juma drops back. He throws the screen to Hunter Jackson, and Jackson taking off, hit by Meta. After the first down, Juma hit in the backfield by Girardi on a good pass rush. But it's going to be enough for a first down and a gain of 15.
Yeah, and a great job there. I don't remember if it was Palumbo. I think it might have been Palumbo who traced back to that play and made the inside cut block. But great job just springing Hunter Jackson there for a couple of extra yards. And now a first down buys you a little bit more of an opportunity to make a drive here.
All right, making some adjustments, the Knights. Juma throws the screen to Giordano. Giordano with a great block there from Mermaid. Giordano making moves, gets the first down. Finally brought down by number 28 for the Steelhawks. That's Kenyon Williamson.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about a few minutes ago. You don't need to go for it all in the first play here. I mean, a minute and 3-down football with the clock stopping after every play is plenty of time. And a couple of chunk plays, just really just throwing near the line of scrimmage, letting your athletes work behind their blocks, and now with still 47 seconds left to go on the clock, now lurking around the red zone.
40 on the clock. Juma takes the snap, opens up, hands it off. It's Jackson. Jackson making cuts, finally tracked down by Meta. But once again, after the first down, great play by Hunter Jackson.
So the one thing now, though, that was a run play after first down. So this clock's going to start as soon as they whistle the ball in. So if you're off, they're going to have an injury timeout here, and that's going to save them.
I believe we're going to have an injury timeout.
Yeah, that really saves them from
Hunter
losing a lot of
Jackson
clock.
going down, and I was going to say maybe he just understands that by taking a knee, he saves his team the clock, but it truly does look like he's having a little bit of a struggle out there. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Hunter Jackson able to walk himself off the field. Always good to see. Juma in the offense back out. Pro Didier in the game. Juma
That's
takes
Cole
the
Reve.
snap. Oh, sorry, it's Reve in the backfield. Reve breaking away from tacklers. Finally goes down. Good run by Reve. Didn't notice it was him.
Donnie, that's 4 first downs in a row. I mean, you can't manage this clock any better.
Absolutely.
They're going to run it right down to near 0. Let's just see if they can punch it in here, though.
First and goal from the 4. Juma takes the snap, looks to his left, and who does he hit? It's 99, Charles McInnes with a 4-yard touchdown reception, his first of the season.
I love that for McInnes, and let me tell you why. They used him in so many different ways this year as they were trying to figure out their identity. They had him as a motion fullback at one point. They bring him in as a tight end, which in this offense is really just an extension of the O-line. And there they reward their big man for the dirty work all season. And we saw it earlier in the year. Juma was trying to work something and some chemistry with McInnes, trying to get that big man his first touchdown, and it comes here in the playoffs.
Cuglietta stays perfect on the night with extra points, and the Knights extend their lead back to 10 in what has been just an exciting first half of playoff football.
On the momentum swings in this game have just been crazy. I mean, it really felt like Superior Heights took the wind out of the sails of St. Mary's there for a bit. They got out big with a 17-point lead. Superior Heights responds big in the second quarter. Really felt like they were taking this game back over. And this young St. Mary's team did not let the momentum sway them. They just drove down the field with a minute, minute 10 they put on the clock there?
Yeah, a minute 10, and they made it work.
And we were worried that they got robbed on the time.
Yeah, I thought they got robbed the time, but hey, St. Mary's said we don't need a full minute. We'll go down there.
We
we'll
actually
make
like it
something
better
happen.
now because
Yeah.
now Superior Heights has less time to march on us.
Yeah, Superior Heights would have 38 seconds on the clock had there not been some technical difficulties. Now to kick off are the St. Mary's Knights, and Superior, I'm sure, going to dig deeper into that playbook. One of the few teams so far this year who I've seen make big, exciting play calls in the first half in the playoffs. A lot of teams being conservative with it. Let's see what they have here. White Pines yesterday on the junior team trying to run the fleet flicker a couple of times. Almost worked. Cuglietta comes back to his team.
And that junior final next week is going to be so much fun.
It
Two
is.
teams that are pretty even when it comes to talent. It's been a long time since we've seen a challenger to Cora's junior program.
Absolutely. Cuglietta, his kick is up. It's over towards Sarasolo, who makes a good catch. Turns upfield from the 10-yard line, makes a couple of cuts, and he's hit by Spadafora around the 22.
Great special teams play there by St. Mary's. First, a great kick by Micah Cuglietta to pin them deep, and then the coverage getting down there quick and really stopping them at, the 22-yard line it looks like. So putting quite a mountain in front of Spear Heights to try and answer here before halftime.
Absolutely, with just 12 seconds, but, never say never. Sarah Solo's been open downfield several times tonight. Trev Anu, known to break them away, so expect him possibly on a wheel route, or, Drayden Brock, the trusty receiver turned fullback
They
tight
might be
end.
taking a knee here, though.
You really think so?
They've told the refs to run down the clock.
Well, and you know what? Yeah, Superior Heights will take a knee. They'll assess what success they've had, and they'll go into the half and try and make something happen here. I'm Donnie Matthews, joined by Jonathan Bould. It's been a great half of football. We'll see you all in 10 minutes. to, oh my God, what's this field called?
Sergeant John Fott Field.
Oh, goodness. All right, welcome back to Sergeant John Fott Field. I'm Donnie Matthews, joined here by John Bujold tonight for the final semi-playoff game this year.
Yeah, first half was very interesting. First quarter was all St. Mary's. They came out with a bit of energy and a chip on their shoulder, it seemed like, putting up a 17-0 lead going into the second. Superior Heights, though, and their veteran players, they answered back. 14 unanswered points until St. Mary's, with a 1-minute drive at the end of that quarter, were able to put 4 straight first downs together and then punch it in. So the momentum swings in this game have been crazy, and you have to really give credit to both teams for their core players not getting caught up in the momentum, fighting back at each turn, and I can't wait to see what the second half produces.
All right, so St. Mary's here adjusting the kickoff. They do spread out. As they, out of that bunch set, will squib kick the ball and run 12 dudes at you. And as someone who played center in high school against that, it's not fun. Cuglietta's kick is off. Wooten looking to field it, he does. Runs right up the middle, tries to cut it to the field, and runs through a defender. Cole Reve able to hold on. Nice return of about 15 yards.
Well, and that's playoff football right there. You have the starting quarterback for Superior Heights returning it, and the starting wingback and corner making the tackle on special teams. Both of these teams asking their star players to play multiple roles here today in a must-win situation.
All right, so it'll be first down for the Steelhawks coming out in their spread look. It's going to be 22-2 back. Oh, they motion out to 32. Or, yep, Rock going out to the field side. Sarasolo comes into the box. Wooten in the gun, opens, handoff to Trevisan. Trevisan up the middle, hit by the defensive line, chugs forward.
Got a flag in the backfield for the defense,
goodness.
though.
Oh.
We'll see what
The
Mr.
defense.
Corelli's calling it from back there.
Yeah, it is going to be, I wonder what that call could be from behind the defense. We'll see they're marking Trevisan with, oh, that's the wrong.
Illegal substitution for St. Mary's.
Oh,
so
wow.
that will back them up a little bit here.
That should give them some yardage.
Mr. Kieran Foley out there with the officiating crew here today. Nice to see him in that rotation.
It'll be a 7-yard penalty for a first down. First down for the Steelhawks, now on their own 40-yard line after the penalty is applied. St. Mary's staying in the just nice 40 front look, keeping some backers off the ball, adjusting to St. Mary's. Oh, and they come up to press the bunch on Wooten's right. Wooten in the gun. Takes the snap, drops back. Airs it out. Sarasolo on the wheel route. He's wide open downfield, and he overshoots him for the second time this game on that route. Just unable to put the ball right there, a little too deep. Still good recognition by Wooten to understand. I was looking, I was like, man, who is he throwing to? And then Sarasolo cut it up.
Yeah, I like a lot on that play. I like that the offensive line for the Superior Heights stood up to that 7-man rush. And then I really like watching Wooten develop as a quarterback because he has a lot of anticipation. He's not throwing to where the receiver is. He's throwing to where he's going to be open. And he's led Sarasolo and a few guys here in open opportunities. Just a little bit of air underneath that one.
Oh, absolutely, and Wooten just able to make some good reads here tonight. In the gun, quads to his left. Possibly a screen set up here. Drops back to draw. Trevisan with great speed. He's got one man to beat, and he's wrapped up. Spada for a touchdown, saving tackle. Great run by Trevisan.
We saw Superior Heights go into a heavy package to start this game, and St. Mary's really forced them out of it by stacking that box and forcing them to spread things out. Superior Heights doing an extra degree of that there with quads to the left to get some linebackers and that safety over to the left side, and they run it to the right side, and Trev Sanu with a great punch there on the defense. And the flag coming
comes
here
out
before
late.
the
I
snap.
wonder. Oh,
Is that a bench?
the referee pointing over at the bench. Coach Caruso showing some emotion over there. Yeah, most likely going to be a bench penalty against Superior. They're walking the ball up. It's going to be an automatic first down for the Steelhawks again. I wonder what they were getting frustrated over as.
I don't know, but not worth it in this moment. You're trying to hang on
not.
to a 2-score lead here. You have Superior Heights who've been making some real progress towards taking this game back into their wheelhouse. And now both head coaches coming over for a conversation with the officials.
Yep. Head coach Jim Monaco and head coach Matt DeSando. DeSando going back to the sideline, but Monaco wanting a couple words there with the referees, trying to understand what they were calling. All right, but it's going to be first down for the Steelhawks. Now on the St. Mary's 39-yard line. Wooten coming back onto the field with the call.
So objectionable conduct against St. Mary's.
Yeah, just an interesting call there. But first down nonetheless. Wooten in the gun. They really try and draw the Knights offside. Good on them to hold.
They have to get this ball off here fast, though. They're going to run out of clock.
Wooten Juma drops back to the single high. Wooten takes the snap. Is rolling out to his left. Drops back, trying to evade pressure. And he's just going to run it on his own. Nice tackle there. 41. That's Brady Stevens. Able to reel him in. Good enough for a first down.
That's just such a frustrating feeling as a defense. Play action roll out to your left. Great coverage, forces Wooten to keep the ball tucked. But he's such an athlete. He's able to tuck it and turn it back the other way. And the entire time he's trying to direct traffic. But I think that's almost window dressing to get all the defenders to continue to collapse downfield.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he had every intention of running that out for a first down himself, I think.
Yeah, you know, he rolled out to his left initially, noticed the good coverage on the backside by St. Mary's, turned around the other way and said, oh, there's nobody here. I'm just going to take advantage of the field they're giving me and show my athleticism. Great pressure, though, by Michael Omabike. Wooten drops back. It's a screen. He airs it out instead for Ty Condon. It's intercepted by Marcus Spadafora. Working his way back. He's got blockers. Breaks one tackle. Breaks a second. He's still going to the field. Finally run down.
Well, you got to give credit to this St. Mary's crew. They have been playing from behind all season, just theoretically and in games. But we've seen them really grow as the season's gone on. And here in a game where Superior Heights just keeps pushing back and really testing their mettle as to whether they can handle being the leaders in a game where they were the underdogs. A huge play there by Spadafora. And just like that, we feel like there's another momentum shift in this game. I think if Wooten could take that one back, maybe he would pull that one down, throwing a lob ball up there into double coverage, really trusting his player to go up there and try to make a play on it. But
yeah, absolutely. I'm sure he would want that one back as well. 1st and 10 for the Knights from the 22, 23-yard line. Juma, it's a handoff. It's Hunter Jackson making cuts, making defenders miss, spins out of another tackle, and Wooten able to slow him down. Enough for, I believe that's Cruz Diaz who got there to help on the tackle. Big run from the 22-yard line all the way up to the 46.
I love how St. Mary's handles their backfield rotation. Every game I've watched them so far this year, they really give all three of their guys a chance to feel out the game, and then they just ride the hot hand. And here today, it's been Hunter Jackson in a big way, and that's just, for a guy who's, is he even in grade 12 yet? I'm not even sure.
He is in grade 12 this year, yeah.
He runs like he's been playing at the senior level for 3 years now.
And I believe that Hunter Jackson was primarily a hockey player, which says a lot. As he runs into a pile, pops out the other side.
Jackson again.
Takes a hit.
Runs parallel to the line, gets stopped.
He's actually going to lose yards on that play. A loss of 1. Maybe, yeah, they're going to call it just a loss of 1.
Well, big stop there for Superior Heights because 2nd and long is a very different situation than what they've been facing most of today. If they can get another stop here, you kind of erase the bad feeling after that last drive.
And I'll tell you right now, it's just, as I was saying, primarily a hockey player. Hunter Jackson transitions really well to football. And you look in Sault Ste. Marie history, that's just been the story. Ronan Provenzano, a hockey player, transitioned to football. Nathan Gazzetti in the same boat. Juma here cuts it back the other way on a QB keeper's tripped up short of the first down. He's trying to reach for it.
I think it was Blonda, the starting running back.
Oh,
when
Blonda as
St.
well,
Mary's
yeah.
won a championship 2 years ago. Another hockey guy turned football guy.
Yeah, Blonda. My last year playing was against Blonda, and you know, someone we thought, oh, this guy's a hockey player, you know, and another running back they had at the time, Harley Wardell. And you think of those two, and you're like, oh, they're hockey guys in a backfield. They've never played football before. But I tell you, watching Blonda develop over that season as he learned how to hit a gap properly and read defenses a little more, and he turned himself into a stellar running back, torched the league for a year, and then, well, disappeared. But he had himself quite a stint, and as I'm just noticing here, there's a player down. We'll take a little break, and we'll be back in just a moment. We are back. I believe that was number 22, William Gould, able to walk off under his own power there. Good to see. And, yeah, wisely on 3rd and 5, St. Mary's Knights are going to punt. Giordano, good snap. Better punt. Lands about 35 yards downfield. 13 getting, what are we doing there?
Yeah,
Getting into the halo.
That was a
little
pretty,
bit
that's one of the more obvious for calls I've ever. That might be a 15-yarder. I'm not sure if that rule still applies these days.
if it's like super obvious and you don't try at all, it's 15.
Yeah.
I have heard of that. I think that might just be at the college level, but I'm not sure.
And I think there's a conversation happening with the officials here whether that constitutes a failure to vacate.
Yeah, because if you enter the 5-yard halo and show no effort to get out.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the 15-yard variety here.
Yep, it is a 15-yard penalty against the Knights, which up 10, that's definitely not what you want to see. You want to have a nice, clean game. But here we go. The Superior Heights Steelhawks getting a chance to advance further down the field. 1st and 10 on their own 34-yard line. A little bit of, oh no, it's just Wooten coming in. He's got the play here. Knights had a good defensive series before, keeping them out of the end zone. The big interception by Spadafora. Seeing that safety current, oh no, it's not a safety, he's over at half. Wooten in the gun, takes the snap, drops back. He's rolling out to his right, trying to evade pressure, and he doesn't see it coming from behind, but they take themselves out. Darren Jacarton coming from the backside is hit by number 97, Michael Omabike, and luckily able to wrap up his ankles. Wooten falls forward for a gain of 1.
Then Omabike's had great last few couple of weeks. Every time I get to watch one of these St. Mary's games, it really seems like he's making some splash plays, whether it be knockdowns at the line of scrimmage or some sacks here. He chases the play down along the sideline. Just good hustle there from that DN.
Yeah, absolutely. Hustle is the name of the game on the defensive line. Whether they throw a screen or even an intermediate pass, you need to hustle. You never know what's going to happen and whether or not you'll have a opportunity to affect it. But Wooten taking the snap, dropping back, rolling out, airing it out. Sarasolo, unable to reel that one in. It's going to turn up a 3rd down. Good pressure there by Dominic Cavalier. And great coverage. Landed Jacarton picking up the swing route by Trevisan, where Wooten looked early.
Yeah, plenty of time in the pocket there by Wooten. O-line held up pretty good. Just he ran out of time because there was some good coverage downfield, and you have to give St. Mary's credit. They've done that to St. Spirit Heights a few times here today, where Wooten has to use his leg to extend plays. Almost comes up with a little bit of magic there with Sarasolo, but just couldn't get it just quite far enough. You know, Spirit Heights will have to punt from deep in their own end.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, you really want a first down here and be able to drive down the field and try and get more points on the board, but and they are in this questionable set with 3 onside men. He's checking with them. Wooten takes the snap, punts it away, and it is another onside punt. It's fielded. Spatafora, and yeah, he's hit as there are a lot of people there.
Picked up by Spatafora.
Good recovery by Spatafora, maybe a 5-yard punt by Wooten.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the right place in the field to be doing that when you're down 2 scores here.
Yeah, I agree. I'm almost doing that, but then like maybe dropping it 15 yards downfield.
A little deeper, yeah.
Like right over the heads of the people covering those onside players, but a little short of the returner. Still give my team a chance, but ensure we don't have such terrible field position. But St. Mary's now to have a first down from the 39. Who returned that? Spatafora. All right, first down, the Knights. Juma under center. Takes the snap, opens up. He's passing.
Oh, tipped at the line.
Hits Jackson, but I believe that was Girardi in there who might have gotten a hand on it.
Yeah, either Girardi or Ethan Fisher. One of those guys was in that vicinity and got a fingertip on that ball and resulted in it being thrown behind.
And it was Fisher in the pass rush on that left side of the line, able to get his hand up and make a play there for the Steelhawks for 2nd and 10. And, you know, I'm almost interested to see here, you know, let's say this is an incomplete or only a 2-yard rush. Do we bring out Cuglietta and try a field goal from this distance? I would do it.
He came close a couple of weeks ago from the 40-yard line.
Juma rolling out to his right. Tries to hit somebody. He does. Cole Reve downfield. Takes a couple men to bring him down. First down, St. Mary's.
Yeah, that's a big first down. I mean, Superior Heights, they're kind of sputtering here to start this half. St. Mary's responded the same way they did in the start of the first half. And Juma, not traditionally known for being a passer, much more a guy who's going to use his legs to make plays, just rifles it to his star wide out there. And Cole Reve's been arguably the X factor on this offense here today.
Yeah, absolutely. And for somebody who's, you know, credited as a wide receiver, being able to do it all and on special teams as well. As the Knights hand off to Levesque, he's brought down by Madaw after a short gain of 2.
And this has been where St. Mary's has struggled so far this year, is when they get into the red zone. But their run game behind Hunter Jackson has been pretty potent. This O-line's gotten some good pushes. 2nd and long here. They are a pretty solid special teams unit, though. If they do have to kick a field goal here, I don't see them hesitating to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. The boot just of the Knights tonight, Cuglietta being able to do it on both kickoff and here, you know, in the red zone after touchdowns, you know, already has 1 field goal tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if they do it again as they hand off to Reve. Reve following his blocks, but Meta meets him behind the line. A tackle for loss is going to bring him back to the original line of scrimmage. Good play there by the defense.
And a flag coming
and
away
a flag.
late.
I wonder
and
what...
that, if you're Spirit Heights, that can't be against you right now. That was well after the play.
I wonder who it was called against. And I didn't see any St. Mary's players in the area, although it definitely could have been.
It's going to be against St. Mary's.
It is going to be against... See, you know, and you would, yeah, I guess they did take a loss on the play there. Back them up 10.
So, a favorable sequence there. I still think they're going to go for the field goal here, as Cuglietta does have a nice leg. But Will Meta, a veteran on this team, a captain on this team, big play on defense to stop them, and then a penalty after the snap, or after the play's done. It'll still be a 2-score game, but 10 points versus 13 points makes a
Meta.
big difference for what Spear Heights has to do to mount this comeback.
Absolutely. And Meta commanding the defense into more of a safe look. They go for some pressure.
Left.
And it's wide. Fielded by Wooten. Wooten running to the field side. Getting past defenders wisely, just runs it out of bounds. About the 7-yard line.
Yeah, it's a costly penalty for St. Mary's there. They were in pretty favorable position. Cuglietta is really good from that distance that they were initially at. And just having to put a little bit of extra leg into that kick results in him missing a little left. And
Yeah, absolutely.
And Wooten, again, just Mr. Do everything for this team here today. Doing a great job to avoid the Rouge and get them out to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, both players having a great game today, but, you know, as you said, Cuglietta just unable to finish that one through. And, you know, Meta setting them up for that deep field goal gives his team another chance to cut this 10-point lead down, as that field goal Cuglietta made earlier on might prove to be the winning points. First down for the Steelhawks on the 20-yard line. That's right. Sorry, my apologies. That's right. As Wooten fielded it outside of the end zone, it will automatically bring it out to the 20. Wooten in the gun. Takes the snap. Rolls out to his right. Airs it out. Sarah Solo unable to bring it in. 13, Diego Garcia in coverage.
Well, great job by Diego Garcia.
That was McLeod there that was intended for.
Great job by Diego Garcia to come in, punch that ball out at the point of contact. And just good timing, not getting there too early, fighting at the hands. And this puts another second and long situation here for Spear Heights offense.
Yeah, and if you're McLeod, you're going to want that one back as that hit you in the chest. And even though you had some contact from behind there by Garcia in coverage, you've just got to make that happen. And they've got the bunch to the field, Wooten in the gun. He takes the snap, drops back, looks for his ISO receiver, goes through his reads, fires it downfield for Sarasolo. And just has to play defense. I almost would have gone up for that.
Yeah, you know what? That's what you're looking for as a quarterback when you have that one-on-one down the sideline. You're just putting it up there and hoping your athlete will go and make a fighting chance for it. At the very least, hoping for a pass interference on that play.
Absolutely.
And I think Sarasolo really let St. Mary's off the hook on that one because he did a great job to adjust back into the winning position. He just couldn't get his feet under him to attack the ball.
I thought for sure, you know, as you said, Garcia had kind of over-pursued on the wheel route, and it was just, there was a catch there to be made, but you know what? Better safe than not, has Sarasolo opts to just play defense and ensure that one doesn't get taken away. Now, going with the traditional punt team is, 3rd and 10 on your own 20 is not where you want to try an onside, but you never know what kind of fakes they can run. And Wooten punts it. It's going to be short. It'll go out of bounds at the 42.
Yeah, that was pretty easy for the officials to spot. That one literally lands on the sideline.
It landed directly on the 42.
Well, St. Mary's here. It's been, you would argue, the more consistent of the two offenses, and now starting in really good field position with a 2-score lead, minute 35 left to go here in the third quarter. You know, if you can get that run game going the way it was earlier in this game, that works in multiple ways to benefit you. It's going to run down that clock, and it's going to tire out this defense. And right now, if you're the veterans on this Superior Heights defense, you really have to lock in and make some big plays here and get your team a fighting chance.
Absolutely. First down for the Knights from the Steelhawks 42-yard line. Juma going to be under center. Nice try with the hard count. Superior Heights adjusted to it now. And there we go. In the backfield is Ethan Fisher, who brings down Levesque for a loss of 3.
So I'm almost wondering if Hunter Jackson's a little banged up, because we saw him come off a little while ago and he was favoring his leg. He has been the hot hand in that backfield here today, and we've seen a couple of handoffs to Ren Levesque. Maybe it's just an assumption that, you know, Superior Heights has made some good adjustments after a couple of rough handoffs, but I would go back to Hunter Jackson here. He has been your hot hand. He's running with authority, and he's the guy who's gotten you the big chunk plays here today.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And, you know, Juma is just analyzing that there. Juma's hard count. His cadence is so fast and urgent. And look at, they're just trying to try and jump off the line. And what a play there. Intended for Romano, but Cruz Diaz almost coming away with the interception. It's going to turn out to be 3rd and 13. And yeah, on comes the punt team for the Knights. Good stand there by the Steelhawks defense to force the ball back over.
St. Mary's had Reve wide open on the crossing route.
Yeah,
I think Juma's eyes were just a little too far downfield to see it developing.
And the pressure there. Once again, Ethan Fisher coming through the line, having himself a little bit of an unsung hero style game tonight, making some plays without getting his name on the stat sheet. Let's see here. Giordano has to back up a little bit for the snap. Gets it off anyways, under pressure. Takes a bounce. Wooten fields it. He's running away, and A.J. Romano with a great special teams tackle, and a flag comes out.
I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if it's just, yeah, so he second-guessed himself there, the official, I think, but eventually corrected. I think that was no yards penalty.
Okay, so they're going to call no yards on Romano. Let's see how they spot it here. Give the Steelhawks 5.
You know, at the very least, I know St. Mary's, you've stalled out in the last couple of drives, but the clock is running down. You're winning the field position battle here right now, and you're really forcing Spear Heights to march down the entire field.
Absolutely, and I'd just like to point out, to even further express your point there, is the only time we've looked on the far side of the field in this third quarter is that big drive that Superior Heights had to open the half that was intercepted by, I believe that was number
Spadafora.
31. Yes, Spadafora with the interception. That was the only time we've had to look on that side of the field. As you said, since then, St. Mary's has done a great job of keeping the ball out of their end. And you know what? Sometimes that's what you got to do, is just play the keep-away game. You don't always need to score. Sometimes you just need to play it safe. But the Steelhawks here in their heavy set.
Here comes pressure.
They run toss, and there's room. Trevisan barreling forward, gets about 7.
Well, good time to run that pitch when you have 7-man pressure coming from St. Mary's.
Absolutely.
Works out to a 2nd and short now. It'll flip the field in the quarter.
Excited to see how the Steelhawks attack this series, and as I say, diversity is the key to offense. So let's see if they come out with, a number of formations and some different type of play calls, and really put St. Mary's on their heels and make their defense adjust. And as we saw earlier, Sarasolo having a chance to get open, and that's just what you have to look for.
Yeah, we saw them having a lot of success, too, when they were getting a lot of guys out wide and trying to make the defense spread itself out a bit.
Right.
Complicates your ability to call a lot of blitzes, too, because now all of a sudden you're kind of
short in the
telling on
box.
yourself, too, who the guy in coverage is, what the coverage is.
Right.
If you have a guy who has having to move past 2 linebackers to go play in coverage, now you know who's blitzing. So they were having a lot of success with that, and Wooten was doing a good job kind of exposing it, but here they've gotten away from it a bit in the last quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. It really, especially when they thin out the box, as you said, they've been sending 6, 7-man pressures all game. And when you only have 7 men in the box, it's a little tougher to do as opposed to, the 10 that they have right now. Out wide is Garcia. They stay in the heavy set. Wooten under center. Takes the snap. The ball comes out. It's almost recovered. Omabike showing some frustration that he couldn't get on that. Wooten, he's going to lose yards.
That's a play you can't afford to waste. Now you're 3rd down deep in your own end. Final quarter.
There's no way you don't. Oh, they are going to send out the punt team. I was going to say, or maybe this is just a little bit of an offensive substitution to get some receivers, but no, their right tackle's coming off, so.
Yeah, we talked about it a lot. I mean, 3-down football, there's still plenty of football left to go, but
absolutely.
You haven't seen a whole lot from this Spear Heights offense here in the second half, and you just wonder if they're running out of time to get their chances.
Yeah, it's a scoreless third quarter, but, fear not for the people cheering for Sup Heights as they came back in the second earlier. Nice punt by Wooten. It's on the ground, and it's recovered by Ben Trevisan. And it's going to be a first down for Superior Heights. What a heads-up play by Trevisan, and Cuglietta is going to want that one back. Oh, my goodness. And you know what? As you just said, they've just been unable to do it. But here we are in the second quarter of the half, and Superior Heights with a little bit of fire to their game once again.
Yeah, we've seen momentum swings really dictate how this game has gone at different points. The second quarter really was going Superior Heights' way because they just had some luck and some opportunity on their side. You almost wonder if that ignites their sideline a little bit and gets everyone with a little bit more optimism.
Absolutely. You know, body language, it's the little things that help you win football games. And right now, Wooten dropping back. They're in the spread offense. Goes to avoid the pressure. It's Liam Dubois in the chase. Can't get there. Runs out of bounds to avoid Giordano. But a gain of about 9.5.
Well, as long as you have Wooten at quarterback, there's a chance, I think, because he can just extend plays. You know, if the coverage is good, it's really hard to corral him. We talked about it earlier. I think the one thing that St. Mary's should really be getting coached up on the sideline is this guy can escape. I don't want you to try and be the hero here. Play contain, force him to stay in the pocket, and then we'll collapse it together. And that's really been an issue for the St. Mary's defense here today.
Absolutely, and just the lack of pressure and the lack of contain on Superior is what's going to make them tear you wide open, as Wooten is a very athletic quarterback and just fights for the edge, and they bring in Shawana and Bafano. Wooten takes the snap. And Katie gets into the backfield to stop Trevisan in his tracks. His first big play of the night.
Yeah, Tyler Katie, a player we haven't heard much of here today, but he has been a standout on this defense all season. I think it's a matter of not seeing a lot of runs up the middle since the first quarter for Superior Heights, but he's right there waiting for that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Just back from his concussion injury. It's good to see Katie back on the field. Trevisan there, I think there might have been a miscommunication as if you re-watch it, Wooten had looked the wrong way, or maybe Trevisan went to the wrong side. Good on them, able to find each other and have a net gain of, well, 0, but no loss. Wooten in the gun, takes the snap, drops back. Sarasolo's wide open, in the open field, turn up field, and Juma able to track him down. The ball comes out, but they're going to call him down by contact. And I believe if Sarasolo fought for the line to gain, he might have gotten there. Oh, no. And Trecarton slow to get up. A big piece for that defense.
Yeah, he might be down here.
Oh, no. And Trecarton's going to stay down. And we'll be right back in just a couple of minutes. All right, we're back. Trecarton being helped off the field. Hopefully he's all right. It's going to be 3rd and 3 here. And, yeah, the Steelhawks, you know, obviously in the fourth quarter down 10, and it's not super crazy yardage. You're going to go for it. In the heavy set, I form, Wooten under center. Big front here for St. Mary's. They run the toss. Oh, and it's Wooten on his own to the outside. He throws a pass. It's Ty Conn, and Ty Conn has enough for the first down. Run out of bounds by Will Iadance.
Well, it was real close to being a big stop for St. Mary's, but Conn gets just enough to creep it past the line of the first down marker. And now every inch starting to feel a little tighter in this game as Spear Heights really trying to make the most of the 9 minutes they have left in this game. Stop on that would have been a big play for St. Mary's, just not enough.
Wooten officially at the 100-yard threshold in the passing game. Still in the heavy set. Opens. Drops back. Airs it out for Sarasolo. And it's caught for a big Superior Heights first down.
Well, I don't think there's much argument that Wooten has been the most electric player on Spear Heights here today, but the player who stepped up the most that has been a big contributor in helping him succeed has been Sarasolo, as he's had a lot of big catches, big first downs, obviously some touchdown scores as well. At least, I think one touchdown today for Sarasolo, right?
Yes, he does have a receiving touchdown.
And Wooten has been leaning on him heavy here in this game, and there's another example of it right there.
Wait, that's wrong. Oh, no, it's not. Never mind.
Travis Anu on the pitch
Travis
here.
Anu to the outside, following his blockers, chased down by Shawana. It's going to be close to, actually it is going to be good enough for first down yardage. A gain of 11, and this Steelhawks offense is now rolling.
Yeah, that muff punt by St. Mary's around half field, we talked about that potentially being a momentum changer, and you really do feel like that's injected some life into this Superior Heights offense here. They're marching now, and
absolutely.
you just kind of get the feeling if they can score here, it's going to put St. Mary's on their heels.
Absolutely. I completely agree that was just a big turning point in this game, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for Superior on the St. Mary's 11. Staying in the heavy set. Wooten rolling to his right, big hole, breaks a tackle. He's down, and a big penalty. Dubois' helmet comes off. Wooten down maybe on the 1.
Either way, it seems like it was after the first down. We'll see how this shakes out here.
I don't know if it'll, do you think it was holding?
I have a funny feeling it might be unnecessary roughness, either because I see a helmet came off for St. Mary's or a face mask penalty on the tackle. Unnecessary roughness defense, so that's going to be horse collar tackle.
And it's going to be an automatic first down for the Steelhawks, which Wooten,
I think they got anyways, but
yeah, I think he essentially just already had. Yeah.
And I mean, they would have been around the 1 yard line anyway, so this is about a half yard they have to gain now. And the rain's starting to come down.
Comes. Now officially entering rain game territory. The Steelhawks on the 1 yard line. 7 minutes left in the 4th, down 10.
Starting to get a tad moist out there, so cover up and get an umbrella.
No, who let him do that? Sarasolo under center. He takes it in for the touchdown, Steelhawks.
Well, I think we knew coming into this they were going to be counting on Wooten a lot, but Sarasolo has really turned into, I think, the X factor in this game for Spear Heights. He has been their weapon that they have leaned on here today, and now he puts up his second major of the day. And we are now within 1 score. And if you're Spear Heights, you came into this game, I think, probably with, I don't want to accuse them of anything, but a little bit of an assumption that this was your game to win. And they got hit in the mouth early, and they fought back. And I just feel like the team is handling the pressure really well of this comeback.
The hold is good. Wooten's kick is up. And the lead is cut to 3. The Steelhawks with another big 4th quarter comeback. And once again, they're just making it a game for St. Mary's.
Now, with all that being said, we have seen Spear Heights make some efforts to close in on St. Mary's here earlier today. And this young team has responded well in kind almost every time. We'll see if that run game that they had going can do its magic one more time. 6 minutes, 34 seconds left on the clock. If they can get running like they did earlier, they can eat up a lot of that clock and start to chip back towards restoring that lead. But if this Superior Heights defense, as experienced as it is, has anything left to say, this is the time to do it.
Okay, also, just to say I'm thinking here. And, I mean, for now, here.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, yeah. And, I mean, this is kind of up in the air, too. Like, someone could come out and, like, he's had a pretty good game.
You said.
Who else?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. Here. Yeah, here. See, like, it's in the air. So we'll feel out this drive, but, like, even, like, I like this. Honestly, just, you would never guess it, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes that's kind of even the case with the guy from here, but
Yeah.
okay. So Steelhawks out to kick off. Wooten getting set. You know, they've had some trouble fielding the ball so far this game.
Well, now the weather's going to play an impact
And
on that as
exactly,
well.
I was just going to say that now. On top of that, the ball's wet, and so are their gloves. So let's see how St. Mary's is able to react. Wooten kicking it. It's just going to roll and go out of bounds at the 19.
Kick is out of bounds. It's reventilated, and we'll move
A little bit away from where they wanted to put it.
Yeah, there's a lot of space on the field there. I think they were looking for a squib kick to try and force St. Mary's to kind of delay their return, let their coverage get downfield a bit, but just unfortunately rolled it right out. We'll put St. Mary's at the 40-yard line here to start.
Well, you see, I think that's what Wooten saw, is that one of the returners had rolled down to play an onside attempt, and the other one had rolled high, and he maybe just tried to place it right around that 30
Turn it into
number.
a foot race with one of
And
his cover guys.
Yeah, have one of his cover guys maybe get down there and have a chance to get the ball back for him. But 6:34 left on the clock. St. Mary's 1st and 10 on the 40-yard line. I should change the sheets probably so I don't write any of their stats on.
Yeah, I think that the player who's dominated on offense for St. Mary's here today so far has been Hunter Jackson, and this is a perfect moment for him to kind of cap this upset here today if he can take over this game. But right now they have Jaheim Perot-Didier there in the backfield. He's also been
No, it's
Hunter Jackson.
Yeah. And they throw a screen to Giordano, who fights to the outside and is pulled down by Trevis Anu, who's on defense. They'll call it a horse collar tackle. Gain of 7 on the play.
Yeah, and that one hurts here. You're trying to shut down this offense here and give yourself enough time to complete this comeback. That's going to move them 15 yards up from the spot of the foul. And they're going to be in Superior Heights territory here with a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, automatically, that's just a little upsetting, as you said. And they've got all their big numbers out there for Superior Heights. Girardi, Billingsley, Matthew Perks, Cruikshank, Wooten in the back, Diaz, Trevis Anu out there at corner now, unloading the bench of athletes onto defense here to give themselves a fighting chance. It's Jackson to the outside, breaks one tackle, but can't get away from Diaz, who makes an amazing open field tackle to shut down the name of the day for St. Mary's.
Yeah, and I think Hunter Jackson had his sights set on a bigger play, trying to bounce it outside. But what a great job there by Diaz to take that play away.
Yeah, just absolutely wonderful job there by Diaz. And now, instead of, what was going to be a big first down or possibly a touchdown, it's a 2nd and 5 here for St. Mary's. Juma under center. Takes the snap, rolls out, he's going to keep it to himself. He's in the open field. Jumps over a defender and is wrapped up again by Diaz with his 2nd straight touchdown saving tackle. It's going to be a first down for St. Mary's.
Well, you know what? That's what we've seen from Juma all throughout his junior football career. It's just a great athlete in the run game. Obviously, he's transitioned to quarterback over the years due to circumstances, usually injury, and he's stepped up big time. But I love that. That's a dialed-up QB call run right there, wide open. And now Superior Heights really with their backs pressed against the wall.
Yeah, absolutely making Superior Heights show some adversity here in this game. 1st and 10 for the Knights. Takes the snap, hands it off. It's Levesque. Levesque in the open field, running past defenders. Hawk down. Believe that was Clement. It's going to be enough for the first down.
Yeah, it sure is.
13 for
Diaz
Levesque.
with the tackle again.
And I don't know if we've seen Jaheim Didier here today, but, you know, we've talked a lot about Hunter Jackson. Obviously, Levesque's in there. They just have a stable of running backs.
Yeah.
And when you have that, you can really put pressure on an opposing defense, especially when you have that two-back look. Linebackers and D linemen on both sides have to be responding to the pressure of the O-line and the down block.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just a first first down. Or no, yeah. Levesque up the middle.
I believe that was Levesque again.
Plugged up by the defensive line of the Steelhawks.
You know, it's funny. We talk about Levesque kind of being that lightning answer to the power of Hunter Jackson, but in this wing T offense, technically Levesque is the fullback right now, and Hunter Jackson is the tailback.
Yeah, and you know, as much as that might be a little confusing here, at the same time, A.J. Cochamilio plays fullback for the Colts in this offense, and you know, a big 99-yard rushing touchdown for him last night. It's going to be 2nd and 7 here. Juma under center. He takes the snap. He's rolling out to his left, and he's brought down. Daxton Billingsley with a big stop for the Steelhawks, and there's no way the Knights don't go for this.
Yeah, I mean, you go for the field goal here. It's a 6-point lead. That's not enough to stop the extra point from winning the game for Spear Heights if they march.
Yeah, absolutely.
You kind of have to just call it here and go for it. It's a one-score game either way.
Yeah, 3 minutes on the clock. And, I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if they march downfield and we see overtime tonight, as this has just been a great game.
And, I mean, worst-case scenario, if you're same areas you miss here, you're leaving a full field for Spear Heights to have to march with 3 minutes left to go.
Absolutely. And
yeah, and they're going to talk this one out a bit here on the St. Mary sideline and try and figure out exactly what they want to do.
And we're just going to take a quick break. All right, we're back. Juma in the gun now. A little bit of a different look. And they're blowing it in. What? Oh, maybe a little bit of miscommunication. Juma in the gun, takes the snap, looks left, throws it, and it's caught into the end. Oh, wait, the ball comes out.
No, he
but
got
they're going to call it a touchdown. His second one of the game, Charles McInnes. And ladies and gentlemen, with 3 minutes left on the clock, that might seal it.
It's funny. I'm going to let people in behind the curtain here a bit. We were just talking about potential players of the game going into this, and Donnie here was saying, you know, a guy who could insert himself into that conversation would be McInnes here with another touchdown on the day. And it's almost a little bit of a prediction as to what happened just 10 seconds later. And we've been a real big fan of McInnes all season, just the dirty work he's done as a blocker, as a tight end, as an unheralded piece of this offense. And after weeks of trying, he and Juma trying to develop some chemistry around the end zone, they get 2 here in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. They just had, you know, McInnes was a big tight end. Him and Juma had that connection in junior, and he had a nice year with the junior SaberCats this summer and just able to come out here and, you know, develop later in the season to a big pass-catching tight end who's able to put himself into the end zone twice in a playoff game. And just what a catch there. It was great coverage by the defense, but he managed to reach over his head and pull that one in, securing most likely a city final spot tonight.
Well, and I talked about it coming into this broadcast. I mean, the last couple of weeks, you've just seen St. Mary's young core start to figure out their identity, figure out what they want to be, run a system that suits the personnel they have. We kind of saw this coming. I mean, you look at a 1-5 team upsetting a 4-2 team, and you could say that maybe one of the more surprising upsets if they can close this. But we've seen this team coming for a couple of weeks now, and St. Mary's is a culture in that school. Football has been a part of their DNA for the last 4 years. I mean, for Superior Heights, this is a devastating spot to be in, but 3 minutes is still plenty of time to go. Anything can happen.
Yeah, and just looking here, St. Mary's most likely to pin this one deep, but just the athletes that Superior has and the plays they've made on special teams so far, don't count them out. 3 minutes is a lot of time in football, and just about anything's possible here.
And we talk about St. Mary's youth, too. I mean, that's not eliminating the possibility of being on shaky ground trying to close it out.
Yeah. Also, just while the kick's up here, shout out to the Cora Colts number 99, Evan Beauville, supporting us online here at Sioux Sports. Thank you for watching to Evan and crew. Return there by Sarah Solo, about 10 to 15 yards.
Oh, just solid coverage there by St. Mary's, pitting Superior Heights deep in their own end with 2 minutes, 45 seconds left to go. Now, this is one of those moments, though, where I've always been firmly against the thing they call prevent defense. Just do what you've been doing all day.
Yeah,
Force
absolutely.
Superior Heights to beat you with their best stuff.
Well, you know, and as somebody who was just in a playoff game last weekend against the best team in the country in the CJFL, prevent defense can, you know,
backfire.
Absolutely. And, you know, sometimes in a playoff game, you start to find your rhythm. You see the holes in the prevent early on, and you understand how a play will develop and able to move the ball downfield a little more efficiently, especially for a quarterback like Wooten. Takes the snap, hands it off. Trevizanou finding a hole, running up the middle. Brought down by Cavalier. Short gain.
And if you're St. Mary's, you're okay with that play. I mean,
yeah, 6 yards on a rushing play. You're not going to complain at all.
This clock's going to move here again in a sec, so you're going to run off a good 20 seconds on that play.
Absolutely, and just even if they score here, the Knights come onto the field.
Oh, if you're Superior Heights, you got to be getting this play in quicker than this.
Yeah,
you got to be moving here.
You need to be in hurry-up defense. No one should be walking to the line. Wooten in the gun. Trips to his left, takes the snap. They hand it off again, but Trevizanou in space.
Get out of bounds.
He's taking off.
There you go.
Smart runs out of bounds at the 52.
First down, Superior Heights.
Yeah, I don't hate the outcome of that play just because you stop the clock. You buy yourself a little bit of extra time to get the play in. You don't feel as rushed getting to the line.
Trevizanou now officially over the 100-yard margin in the rushing game. Last time I called one of his games passing, last time I took stats for one of his games passing the 300-yard threshold.
And what a high school game that was.
I believe he's the only player to do it this season. As Wooten, facing pressure, steps up, makes a throw downfield to a wide-open receiver. Who makes the catch? Sarah Solo down on the 10-yard line, and the Steelhawks are back in the game.
Yeah, I got to get everyone downfield now towards the ball because they're going to whistle this in. Although the the official's not quite moving as fast as they are, so they got some time.
49 yards downfield.
And the sticks aren't quite ready yet, so this is working out well for Superior Heights when it comes to managing the clock.
The whistle's blown in. Superior Heights takes the snap. It's a pitch. Trevizanou to the outside, reading his blocks, cuts it up the middle. Trevizanou down on the 1 yard line.
Yeah,
they got to get set
line.
quick.
Get to the line. Smart by Ty Kahn there, rushing everyone to get into their spot.
The clock blown in. Under center, Sarah Solo. He takes the snap, and they jump over the line, but a flag flies.
I think that might be a
an
jump by the
offside.
defense, yeah.
I mean, not often do you just appear over the line like that.
It's not a lot of Troy Palomalus in Sault Ste. Marie high school football, you're saying?
Yeah. But, I mean, good heads-up play there. I believe that was Katie who jumped over the pile to make a play. It's going to be an automatic first down from the 1, a situation you don't want to put the Steelhawks in, and I'm just running that play 3 more times.
Offside against St. Mary's.
Although it does run some seconds off the clock. Those don't come back.
Sarasolo under center. Takes the snap. It's a pitch. Wooten on the rush. And he's into the end zone for his 2nd rushing touchdown of the game.
Well, an extra point here brings it a little closer, and now we're about to be up against the 2 most important special teams plays of the day so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you were a part of a situation like that, like you were mentioning, down in St. Clair. An onside kick made things interesting at the end of that game.
It did. John Davis able to recover that for us and give us a fighting chance against the best team in the country. Let's see what the special teams can do here to give Superior a shot at their 2nd city championship since the COVID break. The kick is up, and it's good. Wooten staying perfect on the night. Gets them back within 3.
And there's going to be a lengthy discussion on that St. Mary's sideline with the special teams unit about what they want to set up here, what they do not want you to do, what mistakes cannot happen. And if you're Superior Heights, you have a little bit of influence from over the years with Coach Orazzetti, Coach Sliv, Steve McLeod. They have a lot of different ways they can try and get that ball back on kickoff. St. Mary's has to be ready for a couple of different options, I think. I think if you just looked at the records coming into this game, I don't know if you would have expected this, but like we said, we've watched these teams all year. We saw this good game coming. A lot of young players on St. Mary's, as we've said, really developing as the season's gone on. This coaching staff has done a great job of adjusting what they want to do with their offense and defense, finding their identity. And Superior Heights missing a couple of key guys on their side of the field.
Well, at the same time, as is St. Mary's, Liam Ouellette, one of the star secondary players who's done a lot for this team and the SaberCats, a 5th-year guy who helped win that city championship a few years ago, out tonight, as is what would be the starting quarterback, Alex Hayes, who I'm sure this season would look completely different had he not seen that injury in Week 1 against the Steelhawks.
It's worked out well for St. Mary's that it was Week 1, though, because it's given them time to develop Juma as a plan to kind of rally this offense and change its identity. I don't think that you end up going to a wing tee if you have Alex Hayes all season.
No, absolutely not. But at the same time, how do you discover how well your team will work out of the wing tee if you don't lose Alex Hayes? Like you said,
yeah,
so many athletes.
So many things that had to go a certain way, you know?
Yeah. I'm almost surprised that St. Mary's had adapted a similar offense to their, what I would call, #1 rival in the recent history, Cora. But, I mean, this year it's almost been more like it's Superior Heights. This is a big playoff rivalry that's gone on for years. In 22, 24, and now 25, facing off in the semi. Wooten, chip shot. Madaw bumps it up, and it's recovered. A.J. Romano, the big special teams play for the Knights. Madaw off his fingertips.
Oh, that's one of the craziest onside kicks I've ever seen. There was felt like 3 seconds that ball was in the air trying to see who was going to come down with it.
And I'll tell you right now that the most impressive onside kick recovery I've ever seen was a Cora Colts game. I forget who we were playing. I believe it may have been Superior Heights in a playoff game. In 2023, Ethan Karchidi jumped up to recover an onside kick, batted it forward, and recovered it further down the field away from the crowd of people. Just a really heads-up play.
For those with a real far-back memory, too, your coach for the SaberCats in now Sioux College, Matt Primo, has maybe one of the most famous plays in Sioux history. NFC Championship, I believe, 09.
Yeah.
Recovers not only the moonshot, but takes it all the way to the house on a one-bouncer. Kudos to A.J. Romano, too. He was the one who ended up coming down with that one.
Well, you know what? As I said earlier, the veteran receiver only seen 1 target tonight. But, you know, showing his hands, able to reel that one in, and that might be the game-winning play for St. Mary's. They're backed up here after a false start. It's going to be 1st and 15. Let's see what they can make of that. Some of the coaches up here showing a little bit of heads up that they saw that. Juma hands it off. Levesque able to read the hole. Matthew Perks hits him at the line. The big man making a big play. Also in there, 94 and 20. That's Clement, as well as Caleb DaCosta.
They're bringing some fresh big men in the middle, trying to stuff this last play here. There's still a minute 34 to go. If they get a stop here,
absolutely.
Timeout called.
Coach Caruso going to come in. Very crucial point in the game. On comes defensive coordinator Matt Gauthier on the sticks. Just a big, crucial second down here. If they don't get chunk yardage, I don't know if it's worth going for it on third. And you certainly don't want to put the ball back in the hands of these Steelhawks, who have just been on a roll. Wooten tonight. 165 passing yards, 160 receiving yards to Sarasolo.
I mean, that's just an insane stat.
That's
almost the entire receiving.
That's insane.
It's gone to Sarasolo.
He's had such a game.
And just the ability to get open and be that reliable all game long. He has definitely been the saving hope for this offense here today, and Wooten has needed him big time and leaned on him.
Absolutely, and just his ability to get open downfield and Wooten's ability to read the defense and how they play him has just turned out so well for the duo. Second down and 13. Juma takes it. He drops back to pass. Oh, and wide open downfield was Giordano. Wide open.
I really don't know how that's not pass interference right there, Donnie. I mean, he was draped all over Hunter Jackson as he went up for that ball.
See, I didn't see it. I didn't see that. My eyes. Oh, here we go. Oh.
Maybe the
Number
timing of it,
8.
I'm not sure, but
Griffin Del Parte. That is a big missed call, and that could come back to bite them. But if you go back and watch, my eyes were downfield by the Superior Heights 50-yard line where Giordano was left wide open for what would have been a touchdown game-sealing reception.
and now a minute 30
now
seems
a
like an
punt.
eternity.
Giordano kicks it up. It's going to go out of bounds here.
I mean, this is a chance for Superior Heights here. They came into this game as heavy favorites, 4-2, second seed. They haven't lost anyone except for Corey here this year. The entire game, they have been chasing this game from behind. And now with a minute 23 left to go, they have a legit shot to make this comeback just in time for the clock to expire.
This has been a very interesting game here tonight. Super exciting day worth of playoff football, and this is going to be the drive to do it.
Somebody's going to step up on one of these two teams, and I can't wait to see who it is.
Someone's got to make a play here. First down for the Steelhawks. Wooten takes the snap, and he's just going to run to his right. Following blocks.
That play
Gets maybe 2 yards. I don't understand the thought process.
Yeah, too conservative there on that one.
1 yard, looks like.
I almost would have had everybody run routes, had them roll out, and just told them to keep it. Oh, someone's yelling. Wooten with a 1 yard gain.
Minute at 10 now, clock winding down.
Wooten in the gun. He's got to make something happen.
Oh, this play's taking an eternity
Yep.
to get off.
Takes the snap, rolls out to his left. Downfield, number 11, the ball comes out, but number 11 makes the catch for a first down. Ryan Oliver.
Well, we just talked about it, how there's only been 5 yards dished out to any other receiver other than Sarasolo here today. Ryan Oliver waiting until one of the biggest plays of the game to make himself known. Not only reels that in with a bit of pressure from the defender, but gets out of bounds and stops that clock at 55 seconds too.
177 passing yards for Wooten on the night. Oliver, the third receiver he's hit today. Or fourth if you count Trevis Anu on a screen. Wooten takes the snap, drops back. Goes to roll out to his left. Airs it out. Sarasolo, unable to reel that one in. Going to fall incomplete. Brings up 2nd and 10.
I mean, yeah, it's second down. Not the end of the world, though, when you throw an incomplete. It does stop the clock, but it's 3 down territory. You're going to take 3 shots at a first down here no matter what. Still plenty of time, 49 seconds, 3-down football. Only need a field goal to tie it here.
Absolutely, and you know, I think they'd kick it from wherever they're at, just a hope. Wooten takes the snap. They hand off to Travis Anu. Travis Anu's got room up the middle. He breaks a tackle, and Reve brings him down at the 40-yard line.
42 seconds left on the clock here. It will be whistled in, and the clock will start once it is.
All right, the clock's blown in. Wooten takes a snap. Rolls left. There's pressure from Desjardins, but he gets away. He's running up the sideline. Throws it. Incomplete. Should have looked for Sarasolo, but it's going to bring up another 2nd and 10. 29 seconds on the clock. All you need is another intermediate pass to be able to spike the ball and take a field goal.
Yeah, this is so close to being in the territory where this game's going to come down to an end-of-game field goal here.
And we will say, for those of you who are waiting for the players of the game, due to the games today being so intense, we're just going to wait till the end of the game to announce those.
We want to see how this finishes.
Yeah, we can't do that now. There's too much going on tonight as Reve comes off the field, and they do go into a bit of a prevent defense, dropping back Juma and Spadafora. They make the sub, and you know what? I think they're going to go to the heavy set, which they don't actually. They stay in the spread. Wooten in the gun, quads to his left. Big 2nd down. He takes the snap, looks left, looks downfield, airs it out. It's going to be a little too far, but it's intercepted by Spadafora.
And why is everyone stopping on this play? I need to understand what's going on here.
There might be a pass interference down here, but there's no flag on the field.
Why was this called dead?
They're calling it incomplete. It was popped up and into the hand. It went it went off the head of Travis Anu.
I don't understand why this was blown dead, though. I really have no idea.
That should have been an interception, and it is. It's a turnover.
I had to say,
St. Mary's football. Spadafora on a tip drill interception.
And who was the guy who tipped it?
It was off the head of Travis Anu.
Sorry, the DB who was putting pressure on him, though. Was that 14?
I don't know who. I didn't see who the DB in coverage
Either
was.
way, heads-up play by Spadafora to be in the right place for his 2nd interception here today.
I believe it was Travis Anu on the route, but
Superior Heights player lands in the hands of the St. Mary's player, and it's an interception.
No, I mean, with 18 seconds left to go and St. Mary's in possession, the spot of where the play ended, irrelevant here at this point. But there was a good moment of confusion there where that play was called dead, and we had no idea what was going on. But
yeah, I think the referees themselves needed a minute to comprehend what had happened. But it's going to be 1st and 10 St. Mary's from the 5-yard line, and I'm almost certain they're just going to kneel this one out.
And it all shakes out in the end as
one
of the best upset victories we have seen in a long time in high school football.
Yeah, wow, just what a game to come down to the wire. It's going to be a tough one here.
And just credit to that St. Mary's coaching staff this whole year. The season starting out looking so dire. It wasn't until week 6 of the regular season they got their first win. And they have kept this team focused on improving week over week. This is the benefit of being in a 4-team loop where everyone makes the playoffs. It is not about how you start, it's about how you finish.
They blow it in. Juma coming under center.
They will just let the clock run down to 0.
They
so
are just going to take the knee.
Snap is going to be it.
And ladies and gentlemen, we'll take this time to announce the players of the game. Yeah, okay, which team do you want to do?
I'll start with Spear Heights. I mean, I don't think there's anything else you can say other than Chase Sarasolo is what gave Dylan Wooten a chance to be the leader he was here today. It's just an absolute weapon, constantly finding open space and making huge plays. I would say he got 95% of the receiving yards here today for Spear Heights, plus a couple of touchdowns. So he's my player of the game for Spear Heights here today.
Absolutely. And our player for St. Mary's, as there are plenty we could pick, but you've got to give it to the man who managed to keep them out of the end zone. Number 31, Marcus Spadafora. 2 interceptions on the night. Plenty of heads-up tackles, making sure that St. Mary's has the ability to go to what I believe is a 4th straight city final. Ladies and gentlemen, great game tonight. Thank you for joining us at Sergeant John Fott Field. We'll see you all next week for the junior final on Thursday the 23rd at 7:30. The Cora Colts will face off against the St. Mary's Knights. And in the senior final on Friday the 24th at 7:30, the senior Colts will face off against the senior Knights. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Donnie Matthews, joined here by John Bujold. Thank you all and have a good night.